folks, another weekend has come and gone, and we are on Monday again. And whoa, I am here myself. Oh, that was weird. I always forget. I always forget that sometimes. But it is like I said. Oh, I am totally thrown off. Another Monday has another Monday has come, and the weekend has gone by, and so it's a chance for us to start anew as we delve into the Mechpit chat here. As I'm sure I am no doubt going to be mocked for, it being Monday and me boomering something once more. But no matter, folks, happy Monday. Welcome to the Mech Pit Chat with your host, Iron Caster, here to delve into the week that was with all of the big robot goodness and what else we feel like talking about. It's been a nice, relaxing little break here. Christmas came and went. I didn't get anything big. I didn't get any big robot stuff for it this week, but it's one of those weird weeks where everything is sort of in that kind of down period where there's like kind of no one wants to go and announce anything. Everyone's just sort of waiting for the new year to come. It's basically kind of that weird dead week that comes along. And, it's kind of a chance to look back and reminisce a bit. Uh, all the stuff that came over this past week, this past year, and how we've all sort of grown, the stuff we've enjoyed, the stuff we've hated, and the surprises we didn't know we wanted. So I'm sort of flying solo today, so we'll kind of take this as we go. If anyone wants to join, then I can drop a link for you. Hit me up on Twitter or Twitter, Discord, wherever you have me. I'll drop you a link. But it's been a bit of a fascinating week here. Fascinating year, really. I'm getting all turned around. We got some surprises we didn't quite know we were gonna be enjoying, and then there was some stuff that I was kind of hopeful for that didn't quite pan out as I hoped. It's kind of that funny thing where sometimes you have a movie you look forward to that you want to be good, but then it doesn't quite always live up to quite what you were hoping for. And that's kind of the unfortunate thing that comes along sometimes. So a lot of people, there was plenty of people out there who seem to not like Dune 2. Personally, I kind of liked it. I was annoyed with some of the changes that they did with it, but it is what it is. So this has been a little chance for me to kind of look back a little bit and think, just what all I've kind of accomplished this year, and it's been a fun little season, fun little year. Just kind of looking. Is there? I wonder if I can. I'm just playing around with a couple websites here and hoping I can pull up a list of like. Let's see. Huh. Sorry, I am finding out some new stuff that's going on with like my anime list. Halfway through my course, have to go straight. Listless, congratulations. You've been rock and rolling with the schooling, all to get yourself better, and I say congratulations to you. I know you've been it's like something with what something involving down the paralegal, I believe, is what you had going on there. And hey, keep going. I want to see you succeed. It's been kind of kind of interesting, kind of looking back at some of these websites here. I've been using websites such as AniList to sit down and track just what all I've watched, what all the stuff that I've had to enjoy, and it's been a little tough to kind of parse out just what all I've been. What all I watched this year alone, but it's nevertheless kind of a bit of an interesting thing to sit and look at the stats of everything of just kind of how I have a tendency to grade things. The maybe the shows I have a tendency to watch, just how many episodes of various anime I've watched. And let's see, count one or two, and just how many, just how many movies or shows come along that have a tendency to fill up your time. You can see just as certain years come along, you can really kind of parse things out. And obviously, the early stuff gets a little tough to kind of fit in. And then certain years just really peak up. Like 2018 was a good year. 2024 was a really good year. I gotta say, there's been a lot of stuff that came out this past year alone that I did enjoy. It's kind of fascinating when you start looking at the data, just what all gets broken down. You know, if we go, let's go pull up anime, and you can kind of see, what all came out on top this year, what all had a tendency to get chosen. So if I just pick the shows that I had any interest in, I can kind of parse out just what I did watch this year, and certain things unfortunately show up that I didn't get to yet. Solo Leveling, for example, was apparently the top anime this year, and I can't wait for the season 2 of it. I thought that was a fantastic show. Dan the Dan has a lot of popularity right now. People are enjoying it, but it's one I haven't gotten to yet. Keep going down the list. Some shows come out and just be a total surprise. You never know what quite to expect. Kaiju number 8. I kind of heard some rumblings about it for a while, and it had a bit of build up. It took me a while to get into it, but then eventually I got hooked on it. And then you get shows like Delicious in Dungeon that just seem to come flat out of nowhere, and then they completely take over things. Like, I can think of so many people that there's so many people that have really gravitated to the show that really doesn't surprise me, but then it turns around and it's one that kind of takes things. Hey, DJ Ronnie. And yeah, Pop Culture Mechanic, because too many shows coming over, it's hard to sift through the sheer amount of shows. Yeah. And it gets so tough to find stuff. And then you turn around and you see the stuff that just does take off. And it always kind of surprises me what does really take off. Certain shows you sort of see when they come out, when they get announced, you fully expect, oh wow, this show is going to totally take off, and it's going to go crazy bonkers. People are going to be all crazy about Chain Soldier, and then it kind of falls by the wayside, and people kind of overlook it, and that's sort of an unfortunate thing because for the fans, especially for the fan service, some of these shows just really should have gotten some more traction than they did. Yeah, and then you have shows like Nokotan, where just literally one line of dialogue takes the world by storm. Was that Chic? Noko. Huh. Why am I blanking on the name? Blanking on that song now. Anyway, it was the intro for it just completely took off, and people just fell in love with it with that, and it was just the completely batshit random crazy anime that I don't think anyone quite expected to take off like it did. And I don't know, it's just gonna kind of ultimately fall by the wayside, be forgotten about. Not a lot of these shows are unfortunately going to be really holding up the test of time, but that's how these things go. Yeah. Shika noko 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 koshtan tan. Shika noko noko no. Shika noko 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 kosh tan tan. I can't say it. It's a tongue twister. Thank you for give me the lyric, pop culture. You go down the list, certain ones just take off. Like they just get held up like gushing over magical girls. You're like, oh, that's like the spiritual successor to Totally Spies, just dialed up to 11. Oh, super adult, super not for kids. We're just not gonna show this one. But there was enough said about that. A couple of other ones that really stood out to me. Uh, we had Remonster. I think Remonster was as far as the 2024 anime goes, was probably one of my top 5 favorite series. It just scratched that itch for me that worked so well, especially coming off of having just binged through all of Overlord. At the same time, this right at the start of the year, Overlord was one of those animes that worked for me so well from that D&D standpoint, where I just wanted to really get into it and talk about sort of things from an RPG sort of standpoint, where you really want to you really want to just get into it, and you want to talk about you want an anime to really dig into from that D&D standpoint of class building or even the MMOs. That's sort of the obvious other parallel, and it's a show where you've got characters leveling up, getting new skills, new classes, and certainly with 5e, that's the sort of thing that feels very similar. Or even from your MMO standpoint, your World of Warcraft, your Final Fantasy 14s, it feels super applicable. And so, having just finished up Overlord, I was wanting something else to help fill that gap, and a series like Remonster comes along, and that was a series that had just completely consumed me for a minute there. It was one I couldn't stop watching. I wouldn't binge read through the entire manga this past year. But sadly, no one else really ever seemed to really get into it, and that just kind of was a bit unfortunate. But that it is what it is. As I'm kind of looking down the list here, a couple other things stand out, and some things it's a little tough to talk about because they're either still airing or going to continue airing into the new year, such as Dragon Ball Daima. Dragon Ball Daima came out this year, and while we're 12 episodes in, it feels like a fun little adventure that has a lot of throwbacks to sort of the Dragon Ball era, which I will say for myself, I thought was best Dragon Ball. Z is fun, Z is fantastic, Z brought me into it, but I think Dragon Ball is better than Dragon Ball Z. And so seeing Kid Goku again with the power pole, going on the adventures to collect the Dragon Balls, feels reminiscent of that era. And while at the same time we're getting a couple of little throwback nods and some fan service in there. For example, we saw a transformation in a recent episode here that, frankly, I didn't think we were going to be seeing again, especially from a character who I didn't think was going to. It's one I do intend to keep seeing and keep watching. Yes, listless. Rama 1/2 had a season come out this year, and it's a bit of a modern redo of that original. It it was one I didn't get a chance to see. I sort of held off on seeing it because I'm, kind of afraid. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to see where this goes. I don't want to see them ruin it. Because Rama was one of those early series that had Rama was one of those early series that had got me into anime in the first place. When I discovered the manga, I binge read through the entire thing. That was a pretty influential series that got me into uh, the genre, the medium in my high school days. I remember going to Blockbuster on occasion, though we were sort of a family video family, and so it was very rare for us to go to Blockbuster. And one of the nice things about Blockbuster was they had anime. They had a few imports that I wasn't able to get at like Family Video, and on occasion I would always see up on the shelf would be that girl Ranma with the panda, always on the cover of those big old VHS tapes hanging out there, and it just always stuck in the back of my head. And I was like, I gotta check this out. I don't think I ever rented it, but it was something that always stood out to me on the shelves, and so I had to eventually go track it. And I'm like, I gotta check this out. And then before I knew it, boom! I'm just reading through all of it. Boom, boom, boom. And so Rama does hold kind of a special place for me. So I don't know. I'm probably not. I probably won't watch it. Maybe I will just take it off of my. Oh, I can't. I can't even do that. Huh. Let's see. A couple of those series that surprised me this year, especially right at the start of the year. 'Tis Time for Torture Princess. Oh boy, was this one? This one's super fun. This was probably what this was a surprise hit right at the start of the year that I completely did not expect to come out. Where the whole premise is we have this brave princess knight who's been captured by the demons that she's sworn to fight, and while she's kept prisoner, they're always finding new ways to torture her in order to get information. But it always is the most you know mundane of tortures. Like we're going like I'm gonna make a cup of ramen noodles, and then I'm gonna go crack an egg and mix it into it and get this nice, delicious looking ramen, and I'm gonna eat it in front of you. Or they got these little chocolate teddy bear candies, and each one has like a different little face or something on it. And the her torturer, literally named Torture, is sitting here just eating them. Isn't even like taking the time to appreciate the little characters that are on them. She's just one by one eating them, and so Hime has to sit and watch and suffer as she's not even appreciating the food she's eating. All to wind up giving just the most in the most boring details, like a secret is the they like to give long breaks on Wednesdays, or uh the the human's weakness is fire, only for the demon lord to realize, well, everyone's weakness is fire. So it's all these, like, they're basically torture. It's these silly tortures for silly details. it's This is one I just completely fell in love with, and it has a banger of an opening. This is one of those ones that's made it into my playlist for when I'm at work. I've got my little earbud in, and I've got that theme song just banging in my head. I'm like, da 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 da. I love it. I cannot recommend this show enough. This was one I I kind of want to go back and check out again. It's been a few months since it came out, and I'm sort of feeling an urge to go back to it. So kind of a couple other little things that popped up on the list here. Of course, we had the Whack Donalds this year. Guys, do you remember when McDonald's went anime? Because that was a thing that happened this year. And we got like a giant like Transformers mecha. Oh god, yes, this plus size elf. Oh my god, yes, this is one of those other series I just cannot get enough of. Here, I'm gonna find something for you for it. But yes, plus size elf. Actually, we'll go to that right now. Plus size elf came out, and this was kind of a silly series about, fantasy, your fantasy races coming to Earth and discovering the delicious perils of modern food. So, for example, our main character, Elfuda, absolutely loves French fries, potatoes. And so as a result, she's gotten herself a bit of a belly. And she's met with a guy whose whole job is a massage therapist who helps people lose weight. So every episode is, some hijinks with them eating foods they probably shouldn't. And then the massage therapist is turning around and helping them all, learn some basic exercises, which you as the audience can do yourself. Little things like some calf stretches and other exercises that might be able to help out a more sedentary lifestyle. Things you could do at your desk or while you're working to help regulate yourself a bit more. Get in a little bit of exercise where you might need it. It's like I said, it's fun. Yeah, there's a bit of nudity to it, which is why this one isn't on Crunchyroll. It's on High Dive. So we're gonna go over there to watch the stuff uncensored, apparently. But there's no sex to it. It's just sort of, your kind of Ranma-esque hijinks. We have the elf and the dark elf who just keep sniping at each other. The dark elf has troubles with circulation, and so she has a bigger butt. And the elf has a bit of a belly, so they're constantly slapping each other or making little jabs at each other's excess growth. Yes, yeah, it a little bit. It is a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. That's it. Look. I'd rather be over here dealing with this, with kind of the animeisms, than sitting and consuming all the mainstream entertainment and just sitting and getting pissed off about everything going on. Like, people are apparently talking about the fact that Norman Osborn is now suddenly black in the MCU, all because he has cornrows. And I don't know, like I'd rather be over here just kind of having some fun and having some dumb laughs. Like, I don't know, there's too little time in the day for a lot of that. But yes, no, absolutely love it. I'm kind of in the middle of watching it. I'm a little late to watching through it, but it's one I've kind of read through a bunch of the manga, and I'm like, yeah, I'll get to watching the anime eventually. So let me go find that McDonald's. I I've shown this off on the channel before, but here we go. This one I can show. McDonald's did the whole series of these shorts, and it's like they knew how to reach the right audience. I certainly went all because I saw these commercials and I got some nuggets.
At the Moonbase McDonald's, where everyone enjoys bold, savory McDonald's sauce, there's a monster coming after the meal! Let's go!
Yes! Sorry. Big robot. Love it.
Quick Dicer 3000! Assemble! McDonald's sauce, win the day!
Try new savory chili McDonald's sauce, only at McDonald's.
All for a nugget commercial. People were paid money just to do the proper like chicken nugget shape. And not only that, like on top of all that, look how good that sauce looks. It looks like there's actual like little like chili flakes in here, so you can actually get some flavor. Yeah, we get that little boot. I remember enjoying it. And you know, they sure benefited from a lot of marketing over this campaigning. McDonald's, please do more anime collaborations with the US in the near future. At the Moonbase McDonald's is something I thought I'd never hear in a commercial. I've been laughing so hard getting access to these two things from McDonald's. I got a kick out of them. This was my favorite. Mech. The new Wickdizzer 3000 nickname just dropped. It was a good little bit of marketing that came out this year that they sort of brought along a lot of that. It was some good publicity McDonald's needed in a year in which people were getting pretty upset over some exorbitant prices, which they started to kind of push back on a little bit. And it was a win they needed. If Star Trek Discovery has taught me anything, as long as you're like 15% different, you're just different enough that it's technically not copyright infringing. Yes, that was a McDonald's commercial, by the way. So I think early spring, late spring, early summer this past year, McDonald's went and did a series of commercials where they basically anime themed up McDonald's. They went with McDonald's. They did like 3 or 4 of those, so they had one for a bunch of different genres of anime. One was there was one that was like I want to say like a shonen anime. One was I think like a kind of a love comedy. Turn the upside down is not enough. Well, that's the thing though. Like if you look at a lot of anime in general, they always do like a McDonald's or something to that effect. So McDonald's just turned around and said, "We'll get in on the joke anyway." How many anime are out there doing their own, not copyright infringing on McDonald's? Oh, by the way, I totally forgot about this. So speaking of McDonald's and anime, we've in the last couple of weeks got an Evangelion crossover with McDonald's. But before all that, speaking about crossovers and speaking about robots and in McDonald's, we have a Punkwaddle in the back. So let me give him a clip on his way in.
Wow.
I didn't say it would be a good clip.
I mean, The bar is set so high. Hopefully, I can, reach it because I'm short.
So, Punkwaddle, how are you doing? How was your Christmas?
My Christmas was pretty good. Got to spend some time with Sugar Waddle's side of the family. Lots of candy, and snacks and sweets and stuff, as one would expect. I mean, not quite living with the Who's with sugar plums dancing in the heads, but still.
Mine was pretty nice. I kind of went out and I kind of made sure I got something personalized for each of the family. Like for my brother, for example, for my brother, I got him and his girlfriend a little custom Lego character for each of them to kind of reflect them.
Cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
Because they're into Lego, so I want to get them something personalized. I'm like, this is him. This has got his face on it. Just like it has his beard. He's kind of,
that's awesome.
I'm gonna go with all fantasy this year. So he got to be a knight, and his girlfriend got to be like a witch.
Nice. Did you know that my first avatar was a Batman Lego, the Penguin henchman with a modified mohawk from a different rogue, one of the Galaxy of Rogues from the Lego Batman movie?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's somewhere around. I'll have to show it off sometime. Yeah, I've been a big fan of Lego and such.
I've been this past week. I have been up to like my ears in Legos. As the thing is, it's not for me. Like my brother sure, decides to.
You can quit at any time.
Well, no. Here's the thing.
Okay.
My other brother bought his son a Lego train for Christmas, and he's 4.
Okay.
So it is not going to last all of 5 minutes. It is not going to get built unless someone builds it. And because they want it to last more than 5 minutes, they want someone to then also glue it together.
Oh, okay. Not just Mod Pod.
I have been gluing a Lego train together, piece by piece.
Exactly, listeners. It's funny though, because I think, a lot of us do puzzles over Christmas, and sometimes, like I said, you get the Mod Podge, and once it's together, glue it on the back, make sure it's all good together, and you mount it, and hey, it's good to go. But apparently, what you could have done? What are you using to glue it?
I have this like 20-plus-year-old little thing of like model glue I bought from a store where I bought Gundam kits as a kid.
Okay, I was gonna say, because like,
mind you, 20 years. I've had the same thing for like the last 25 years.
Because like that's what I was thinking. Like using that plastic model glue that melts together. That'll give a firm hold.
Yeah, but I would also want to test it and also make sure for something like that, because I don't want it to like start completely deforming before I've gotten halfway through.
Yeah. That you wouldn't want to Mod Podge that. You just like, I just slathered it on the outside and it just looks like this gnarly melted ghost train.
Yeah. I had to take all my Tupperware and use it to organize all the pieces, because the way they organized all the bags made no sense.
I believe it.
1,200 pieces.
So that's a really important. Okay, so that's an important thing I noticed, because I too have been building Lego over the course of my life, and I have noticed in the last decade more so is when they've kind of did their rebranding and kind of worked through stuff and kind of streamlined their program, that they do have this like stage of bags, but sometimes the stage of bags, as opposed to one or two big bags that you just sort through, like they're all there, but it's weirdly compiled, and the stages they push you through, they just the way they've decided to break it up is odd. I agree.
I kind of wish they had just, and I don't know if it's like due to the way they organize these parts. If it would have been easier, it would have been easier just to like do a have it sorted by color, because then I can at least parse through like, here's all the red parts. I don't need these for this particular vehicle, so I'm going to push these aside. Because of course, by the way, this has like 3 vehicles with it as well.
Yeah, it's a train.
The train. I've got to have the train car. It's got a little shipping container, and there's a truck and a trailer for me to move the little shipping container between. Oh, and we have to have a crane too to be able to move it.
Obviously, this is Brick Life, not trademark Fortnite. Okay.
My friend, it is Mold King.
Okay.
Look how thick this book is, by the way.
Dang.
Like, this is thicker than some Gunpla kits I've had.
No. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, the fun thing about Gunpla, high grade is like 3 panels front and back, right? Like it's very. Yeah, and I know that a master grade takes a little bit more effort, but yeah, that Legos, because on a Lego thing like that, even as tall as that instruction sheet is, there's only like 2 instructions per side of page, right?
Yeah, this one has like, I mean, it depends, because it might be like,
okay, yeah, and sometimes it's like flip it over and that's a whole page, right? Because Gunpla, usually you have 3 or 4 things that you add per stage. This is like put one piece.
Yeah, this might be like, here's 3 pieces to put together, so I have to stop, and so it takes a little bit longer.
So, yeah, no, I love putting Lego together for sure.
But
yeah,
but that is all kind of, getting off course there.
Yeah.
Did you happen to hear? And I think we've talked about this a little bit in the private chats.
Okay.
About what McDonald's is doing in Japan.
Yeah, I even told my connection in Japan to see if they can't pick me up some. The food won't last, but the kits.
Well, you say this, but McDonald's burgers have enough preservatives in them that it might actually last.
That's disturbing.
Like, I think there's a story about a guy who nailed a McDonald's cheeseburger to like the floor, and it's been there for like decades at this point.
Yeah. I also believe that.
The latest McDonald's X Evangelion collab is the quote canon event fans never knew they needed. So apparently this is canonical. And I will say, having in the past month just finally finished watching Evangelion, this is almost appropriately timed for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How many years later from the actual release?
Was what, 95?
Yeah.
95, 96?
Okay. It's not like 20, 30 years.
The McDonald's Evangelion collaboration has excited fans by combining the world of anime with McDonald's unique menu. This unexpected partnership introduces a special range of burgers inspired by the series' famous Absolute Terror fields, AT fields, offering fans a fun twist on their favorite anime. The menu, which includes items like a cheese double teriyaki and Mexican cheese chicken, will be available for a limited time in Japan from January 6, 2025.
Hold on. Mexican cheese chicken in Japan?
Yes.
I need to try it out. Okay, now I need to really get my contacts, because they're from Texas. Some of them are from Texas or grew up in Texas, so they should know what a Mexican cheese chicken tastes like. Okay.
Let's know that's 2 separate burgers. Oh wait, cheese double teriyaki. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, you were right.
Oh, that sounds amazing as well.
Here,
I'm not going to argue with it.
I'm probably going to get hit for the copyright strike on this.
Mm-hmm.
But what the heck? Let me go find the ad real quick.
Okay. In fact, I'm currently texting my daisy chain of connections to make sure that in a week's time when this releases that I was told that they like McDonald's over there, so they frequent it regularly enough, so it shouldn't be too out of the way for them to try and pick up all the toys for me.
Well, I mean, fortunately for you, there's only 3 of them.
Yeah. And I even said, I haven't been trying to exploit them for all the, special release of Gundam and Gunpla stuff. So I figure McDonald's toys is not a bad way to leverage a few things without seeming too selfish.
And I think it's kind of funny the way they're kind of working in the McDonald's food in this ad, but we'll go through it a little bit.
Man, this is better than the McDonald's sauce and the mecha on the moon, for the nuggies.
Right. I just played that before you came on.
Yeah, I kind of was trying. Well, because let's just say there were some things flowing down my computer that I need to take off. So it was lagging, and then I finally realized what it was, and then I was able to hop in. But yeah, I heard you talking about that, so yeah.
Well, part of the reason for why that is well, actually, in the world of anime, that's because like one really bad cabbage sort of like became the gold standard by which all anime is compared to. I can pull that up later, but yeah, that there's actually. But I don't know how well the actual food looks when it gets served to you. I'm assuming it looks fantastic because they actually give a shit.
Have you seen Food Wars?
I have not.
Oh, well, that's awkward now. We don't need to get into that. I'm sure Brandon the Anime Guy has shown that preview enough times that, well, there's a lot of excitement over food.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, back to this guy.
So real quick, also,
the colors are amazing.
It is not perfect. Is it not perfect? The only thing he's missing is like the apron, and it still has a will to live.
It is Evangelion. A will to live is optional.
He's got a fucking visor.
You're like,
oh my god! I just noticed the smile. How did I not see that before?
Would you like Szechuan sauce with that?
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Dang.
Oh no, we're doing this again.
Buffering, every damn buffering.
I don't know. I don't know if it's Streamlabs that's causing this.
It happens when you're streaming on streaming. It's happened before to other people too. I just want to say while we're hopefully working that through. Okay, never mind. Oh, if we're not buffering, we'll go ahead and I'll say that comment in a second.
But anyway, what was it you had?
I was gonna say listless receptionist and all the other names that she's gone by. I would think it'd be interesting to hear more about all the places you've traveled, because I know you've kind of been around a place. If you could ever talk about, I mean, all the little fascinating tidbits you've been mentioning would be kind of interesting to hear about sometime. Just throwing that out there.
We need to get our little like Indiana Jones hat. We can have the little video play as we're talking about all her adventures around the world.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's the McChicken and burger.
I mean, that looks more like it's got a fillet of fish with a beef patty on there.
Don't say fillet of fish.
So stupid. I love it. Wait.
I want that burger. Is that beans? What is that? Caviar?
I'm assuming that's probably some red. It might be like a red bean paste.
I think you're right. That's my guess too.
Look at that pickle.
Oh, that's a good. Not gonna say that out loud. That could be clipped. But that's a good looking burger. Yeah.
Oh my god, the pickle. The angel burger.
That burger has daddy issues.
Look at this. All right, now I know they've altered it. Ray doesn't smile.
And she's got a to-go bag at McDonald's.
Oh, right, and there's that.
Ooh.
No one is allowed to frown while they're holding McDonald's.
He does not smile at all in the show either, so I don't remember him smiling.
Everyone is slightly happy.
Where's Pengu? He needs his burger. Okay. Yep, there's your bean paste. Oh, it does look good. McChicken with cheese.
So this is the existential crisis burger brought to you by Evangelion.
Yep. Nailed it.
Cruel dinner crisis.
Mm-hmm. It's bouncing. All holding their burgers. The bounce is getting me.
Look.
Yeah, I'm concerned if that's mayonnaise, but everything else seems to act. Okay. Even their food has jiggle physics.
We, the Council of Frylock, have decided death. Oh my god, this is amazing.
This is transformative content. It's transforming my life. I need this in my life.
You know, I've got some McDonald's nuggets in the fridge right now from last night, and I might be making those after the stream. Throw them back in the air fryer for like a couple minutes. Yes, listen. This is, in fact, an actual ad. McDonald's is really doing a collab with Eva. Do we not get Pen?
Yeah, I don't see Pen.
Wait. There we go. It's perfect. Wait, except those should be French fries.
They should.
He's getting frosty.
Sorry, I just got a text confirming that I'm asking for the toy and not the food to be sent here.
Although you should ask for like a taste for like the review.
Mm-hmm.
This marks the second phase of the partnership, which previously introduced transforming collectible figures tied to the series. The latest additions include 3 innovative Evangelion burgers inspired by the Absolute Terror Fields. The unique burger lineup includes cheese. Okay, we went over this.
Yeah,
the collaboration features voices of the original cast, adding a nostalgic touch for fans.
Mm-hmm.
The collaboration is the first of its kind between the globally renowned fast food chain and the legendary anime series, blending the creativity of Evangelion with McDonald's culinary appeal. Fans can look forward to experiencing the vibrant synergy of these two franchises while enjoying a unique anime-inspired dining experience.
Mm-hmm.
canon event. Wait, a burger with oh, it's a hash brown.
Oh,
I hope so, because that sounds amazing now.
yeah.
Hang on, and then with this as well, they're making toys.
Yeah.
So let me find these real quick.
Yeah, I had to Google it.
I meant to talk about this like last week, and it just kept.
Well, yeah, because we've been talking about it on back channels off and on for like a week and a half. I know Ronan has tweeted about it a couple times, and yeah.
Was this? Yeah, we'll go with this one. And
They look cool. They do transform into. It reminds me of the old. Remember the really old school little transformer, like the burger, the fries, and drink, and they were just the super basic. You fold out the legs and the arm.
mm-hmm.
Like this is childhood and revitalized. Like these are amazing.
So I'm gonna mute this because this is straight up just the themes, the song playing.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Because I'm willing to risk it, at the same time, like I can only risk it so many times.
I love that the fact that they have Zero, the yellow one, that it has the shield that they gave him the drink, so that it could have a very similar, like as close to the shield as you could probably make with that. That's genius. That's brilliant. I love it.
Like seriously, props to. I give a lot of credit to the engineers that designed this, because you gotta realize they were probably they were sitting in like an office somewhere, like in Blender, like, all right, so we got to come up with like a transforming drink cup for McDonald's, and while also probably being a fan of Evangelion, and we're like, I get to design the Ava,
Mm-hmm.
and it is going to be a burger. Oh yeah!
Big Mac 初号機
What the heck? We'll play a little bit of the audio.
マックフライポテト2号機マックシェイク0号機思った
Yeah, that looks so cool.
Like they are gonna go up on the shelf with all the fancy, trophies and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, the spear is a fry. That
Oh,
would make sense. But if it's going with
Okay.
the burger, I think it might just be like part of like the sauce.
maybe. Is that the straw? Or is that a fry?
大きいわマクド
That does look like a fry.
Yeah, but like I think it's also like, well, I mean, if you see the like straight bits at the back, maybe it's just kind of they bothered to actually like bury it into the actual like
Mm-hmm.
the kibble on the back.
Yeah, or it's like somewhere going through the robot and it just pulls out.
I mean, either way, bravo.
Yeah.
Because if this was made by like if this was made for like the American like consumers, then this would be super simplistic. Like this wouldn't be as complex as it is.
Right. Because hold on.
ナルド限定奇跡のエヴァンゲリオン
アプリで抽選販売だ。迷わず応募してくれ。
当たるかな
And yeah, that is our choice. I think which one is your favorite, Punkwaddle?
Well, give me 1 second because I'm trying to. Okay, so out of those, it's hard to say.
I think
Hold on.
I think for myself, I gotta go with the fries.
Okay, the fries are pretty
Oh.
impressive.
And here, just to kind of get a closer up on this,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, 'cause now that I'm looking at this, you can see that there's a single fry that stands out.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's got to be the Lance.
I agree. So when you get all three of them together, you have some parts that fold over.
Right.
Did you see the link I sent in the private chat?
Oh, let's see, eBay. Oh yeah, here,
Because it reminds me of this is what we got in the 80s from McDonald's, and I have some of them somewhere.
Oh god, that fry looks like he's seen some shit.
Oh, I have that fry somewhere, at least one of them. And they had a few other ones, so you can look for these 80s McDonald's. But this is what the Transformers we got from McDonald's in the 80s, made by Americans. Like you said, really simple, really basic. And then Japan says, "Hold my sake."
Oh, dude, I'm looking at that styrofoam container. Like that's bringing back memories.
Yeah, like what you got the breakfast in and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of unanimous. The fry is kind of the best design of the lot.
Like there's also one that's a coffee cup, a burger, Happy Meal.
I think I remember a chicken nugget one.
Yeah, like, and so the Big Mac and the hot cakes, and I remember these too. Like that one has definitely been through a lot. That was the first picture I could find, just because I know a lot of people out there that probably remember these as well.
Well, I mean, you've got people who collect McDonald's Happy Meal toys.
Mhm.
Like they're kind of like how you have Disney adults. You also have like the McDonald's people like that.
Oh yeah.
You know, as silly as that is to think, to say, you also got to realize, hey, there's people who do turn on. They treat Disney like a religion, and you got to figure there's gonna be other brands that have gotten to that notoriety that are like that. Like there's a dude who's, you ever see that movie Super Size Me?
Oh yeah, because when I was in college in sociology, we watched that and talked about it.
There was a guy who went every day to McDonald's and got himself a Big Mac.
Mm-hmm.
That guy died?
Yeah. So, the guy Morgan Spurlock.
Oh, him.
He didn't.
Not the Big Mac guy.
So Morgan Spurlock eventually died for other reasons later. Yeah, he actually passed. But he did a few other really interesting documentaries because, like, he do Canadian Bacon? No, not Canadian. He did something with that Canadian guy too from Canadian Bacon that was annoying. I can't think of his name anymore. He also did like that movie on a documentary on advertisements, and some other stuff and paying like he did some really, really interesting like I said, documentaries. Ooh, nice. That's the Happy Meal one.
Yep. So you'll be happy to know that it's going to be like its own self-contained box. It looks like, and actually look at the size of them too.
Yeah, they're actually way bigger than I thought.
Well, plot twist: the person's Asian.
That's terrible.
Oh, I'm sorry. All Asians are giant. They're all Yao Ming.
You know, Yao Ming dominated. Okay, he was on one of the last iterations of the Dream Team that mattered, right?
So I guess kind of, I'm sorry. I think we've completely lost our train of thought here. because I started out just like just kind of talk over a bunch of the anime from this year, and
Yeah.
sort of got sidetracked with a bunch of other stuff.
Well, it was a braver and new world this year.
Dude, talk about like the best anime of the year.
I mean, definitely peaked. I'm really excited that Shangri-La Frontier 2, second season isn't going, and it's awesome. But yeah, like Bravern was in a league of its own without Rosie O'Donnell. The model kits, they've come out with a few more since then. Not
If we know.
Yeah, because they came out with a Bravern one. They came out with not too many. I don't know how popular they are, but I know we talked about the modular white looking one.
That's right.
Early on, but they came out with, I think, another grunt, like the greenish blue grunt.
Yeah, so that, talk about a series, dude. Bravern just was a great way to start the year out, and that, in a way, I want to say it almost kind of peaked the year out as sort of being one of the better releases that came out this year.
I mean, what a way to start with a man crush on the year, right?
It was like the biggest, gayest anime that came out this year. And that, well, and mind you, in the genre of mecha, like with like there's a surprising amount of like man on man action and like gay undertones to a lot of mecha anime. That this show managed to kind of peek out over the top of all those and somehow be even gayer, but also even more awesome.
I'm gonna let you have that one.
Like I'm starting to think that like I'm starting to think you have to potentially like dial up the gay with the mecha to make it even better.
Because
you think about this. Like we went the total opposite with Witch from Mercury, where it was like the Yuri mecha, and it was shit.
Okay. So
you need two rock hard dudes like getting into the cockpit.
I'm gonna dial this back a smidge and say I think there is something to said about big robots and lots of testosterone and male toxicity, even. Like, but I don't know if it has to be gay, but I'm not saying it can't be gay. I love Bravern and all of its undertones and overtones and, all the... Yeah. Yes, it is getting weird. Even before you said penis cannons.
I didn't say penis cannons.
I was talking to Listless. I'm sorry.
And let just to put things in a little bit of context, like give it a little context here and show you just like how gay this show got. Do you remember the ending?
Vaguely.
Okay, we've got our dudes in the rain. Oh, wow, this is... And then they're gonna like... It was like all sad and kind of by themselves. And we're like, yeah, but then we're gonna come together. Don't worry. Oh, why is this not
phrasing? Are we still doing phrasing?
We're just take our shirts off and come together and sing. Hey, this is the ending to Bravern. I'm just saying, like this is how they chose to end every single episode. This, like, with these two dudes getting shirtless and singing.
This is the closing credits.
Yes.
It's not a musical, thankfully, because that would be a bunch of chorus boys running around and robots. If you know anything about theater, you know what a chorus boy is.
And then we're just slowly run the camera around them, as they sit here saying, we're going to closing on their pecs.
I'm starting to wonder if I'm going to be ashamed if this gets clipped that I'm just on the stream as you're saying these things.
Look, I'm just saying. I now have the working theory that the gayer the mecha anime gets, the better it gets. But it has to be two dudes, because when you have two women get together, it is shit. No one wants to watch that. It has to be two dudes. It's all about getting in the cockpit.
You've really hammered that point home.
You gotta grab the throttle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I know you didn't make those up listless, and I also know that there's also titular cannons that are placed in specific areas too, depending on what kind of fembot you're using. So I mean, it's all par for the course, right? But yeah, unabashedly.
We're just slowly reach towards the sky and, singing about, fighting giant robots or something. It doesn't matter what they're just singing about. That's all that matters is we got two dudes shirtless singing together in a show with some giant robots. Oh, where one of them actually turns into the giant robot and insists that the other guy gets into his cockpit.
The meta is real. Yeah, there is a bit of that swoopy bang sort of showing off one eye.
They knew exactly who they were making this show for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for dudes who love big robots. This was the top anime.
Yeah.
This was, without a doubt, the best anime of the year. Oh, wait.
There's more?
Yes, there's more, because we forgot the most important part of like this closing here, because we haven't quite put it in terms like fully yet. So just to show you just how subtle they are with the messaging.
The term is not come full. Oh, interdigitating?
Like, I can't believe I'm showing this uncensored on screen. Like, hand-holding in anime, as we all know, is the most degenerate of all things. Like, I'm sure I probably just lost my channel over this. I gotta get this off screen. I can't show this anymore.
I mean, it's your channel. You run it how you want, man.
Wait. Where's the firework? Hang on. Have you not watched this? Do you not know what happens after this with the closing? Like, I've seen this enough to know, but we got to go back and show you just to show you.
I just want to say for the record, sometimes it's okay to skip the credits.
What are you talking about? We never skip credits, except One Piece when we're trying to get 3 episodes in an hour.
Okay, no, that's more than fair.
No, we just look up towards the sky. We don't have fireworks. We just have bright lights.
Oh.
And that's how it ends.
I agree, Listless. I'll watch the opener and closer, and until there's that second season or halfway through when they change it up and you get a new theme. Unless there's some bangers like going back to Shangri-La Frontier, the first season 1, the first 12, 13 episodes, whatever that arc, that song I think is a banger, and I think it has so much energy and hype kind of outweighed the next ones that we've gotten.
So, and yeah, no, I think you're totally right there. I actually just finished up season 1.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm kind of hooked. It's scratching the itch for me, that fantasy MMO itch for me, that both Overlord and Remonster had scratched for me this year.
Well, here's the thing that I keep telling people. The thing that makes Shangri-La Frontier better than any isekai is because occasionally he goes into the real world and you see the interaction with some of the people and you see real world, because it kind of reminds me of some of the Gun Gale Online SAO kind of side story, more than SAO in general. But the fact that in each season, at least once or twice, he'll go into a different video game. And so he can play any video game of any genre. So this season, there might be some mecha involved. Last season, there's like the fighting boxing stuff. So there's like all these other things that they can pull from. And all it has to be is like, oh, he's a gamer. He's going to go into this game with these glitches. And we can write anything that suspension of disbelief. We can have a side story and a completely different sci-fi realm world, whatnot, and then go back to Shangri-La Frontier in that story. So you can have bottleneck episodes that don't feel like a bottleneck episode.
Yeah, that is one thing I am enjoying with Shangri-La Frontier, is that we're not doing a whole melodramatic thing about, oh, woe is me, my children are trapped in a video game and I have to be the mopey parent who suffers, and my existence is to look sad and reminisce about when they used to be around. Not that I'm looking at any other animes out there like Dot Hack.
Yeah, at all. No, they did it first, man. They're better. Anyway, moving on.
Wait. Now I have to realize Gurren Lagann to fight off the gay. Are we talking about the same anime here?
Believe in me that believes in you, Simone.
Yes.
Screw to the sky. I mean, drill to the sky. I mean, manly combining.
I need you to combine. I need you to get on my shoulders and thrust deep into me.
He never says it quite like that.
I mean, it's implied.
Yeah.
I just clicked. I don't know if that's good or not, listless, but hopefully it means you're going to stick around a while.
Yeah.
So, with all of that said, this was overall a pretty good year for anime, I would say. Well, I would say for last about 4 or 5 months, it was a bit drier for me personally, but it was a chance for me to kind of catch up on a few things. Daima is kind of going on, and I'm enjoying that fine enough. That's a pretty solid 7 out of 10 for me right now.
Okay.
I kind of want to see some more with it, but it does feel like it's a bit fan servicey.
Wait, which one? Sorry,
Dragon Ball Daima.
Oh yeah, I have not touched that.
Well, we saw kind of a transformation we haven't seen in a long time in a recent episode, but you'll get there.
I just haven't watched any Dragon Ball.
I would say if you were to watch Dragon Ball Z, watch it after that. But I mean, that's what 170 episodes.
Yeah, I think it's. I'm not saying I'll never get into Dragon Ball Z, but the shonen has been difficult, and I've gotten a little bit into One Piece. There's some other shows that I have watched, and it's just like I can only do so much of that style. Like Yu-Gi-Oh had only 3 real main seasons. Hunter, similar sort of thing. But they all kind of serve a similar purpose to me, and I don't know.
If you were to watch any, if you were to watch any one shonen anime, and
Yeah.
especially with doing like martial arts tournaments and that in mind,
Yeah.
if you're gonna watch any one, it has got to be Yu Yu Hakusho. Also, it was also written and created by the same mangaka as Hunter x Hunter, so there is some similarity there.
Yeah.
Yu Yu Hakusho came first,
Okay.
and Yu Yu Hakusho, in my opinion, has like the single greatest martial arts tournament in all of anime,
Okay.
with the Dark Tournament.
But Yu Yu Hakusho is a little bit shorter.
Right. I wonder how many episodes it has.
Vince, I hear you.
112.
Okay, it's still like 2 seasons of real seasons, right? Back when we had 50 episodes a season. What happened to having like 50-ish episodes a season, or I mean 26? I mean, it could be 26 in 4 years, but still, like this, like 8 to 12 episode seasons. We're not British.
Well, I think the issue is we got so much demand thanks to online streaming that everyone just has such a demand for material that, you know, it's easier just to pump out a bunch of smaller series on the off chance that something catches on. So that's why we now have 12 episodes as the standard for anime now.
It's like having the magazine where you have 5 or 6 different stories, and you know, weekly updates, and you catch all of them, you know, as opposed to being invested in just one story. I understand. I really do understand that. I just, there's some stories you want to get fleshed out a lot quicker and a lot more in depth.
I remember I used to be in Naruto back in like sort of the high school days. You know, back when that was still like, that's really before it really caught on big in the US.
Oh, before it was cool. I get it.
Yeah, no, like totally. Like I'm sort of the anime hipster in that way, because like I liked Naruto before it was cool. Like I was reading Shonen Jump. Like I got like the December of 2003 ish copy of it, issue 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know, reading Naruto right from the get go there when it was first getting introduced into America. Like I was there at the ground zero on all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
I remember like counting down the days to like the premiere of it showing up on like Toonami, and of One Piece showing up on 4Kids, and I'm like, I'm gonna go out and do chores after I watch my One Piece, my horrible butchered version of this show with the pirate rap.
Yeah.
Good times.
You know. Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, Naruto, yeah, I remember being there, and it was like those big 3, but for me it was always One Piece was the better show ultimately. Well, the better franchise. Excuse me.
Ooh, nice. Is it more McDonald's?
No, that was the Red Bull coursing through my veins.
You have wings? I'm jealous.
Well, I had the Red Bull.
Yeah.
You know, this was overall a pretty good year, sort of overall for media, and you know, not for like sort of the big stuff, because you know, dear God, the MCU, what happened to that? True, we got Deadpool 3, but it is not quite what I was. In the end, it feels more like they were kind of literally playing with a corpse to entertain us. Which, come to think of it, that's exactly what they did. At the time, it's fun, but then you start to realize, oh, they're grabbing a dead corpse to try to keep themselves going alive. So it's sort of, as I've thought about, for example, Deadpool 3 in hindsight, I'm kind of like, ooh, this was really not the sort of overarching messaging kind of coming out of that is really not as enjoyable as I would have liked. I did see some good movies this year, and one of the things I've started doing, and I'll show this off here a little bit, but I've sort of always kind of had a habit of kind of keeping ticket stubs, or trying to anyway. So I went and bought myself one of these little, movie ticket things, so I can keep all my ticket stubs.
I like how it's not a scrapbook; it's a manly way of remembering.
I can sit here and look at them. And I'm like, oh, there's the ticket stub for Logan and all these like pre-COVID movies I saw.
Yeah, and then there's one ticket afterwards. I've got like 3 or 4 movie tickets that I've seen since then. I think. Well, maybe more now. At least 1 or 2 per year tops.
Like I'm kind of looking over here and it's like, oh, there's Thor: Love and Thunder, the movie I left. I remember the day, like, what was this? July 9th, 2022. I left the theater basically vowing I am never going to go see another Marvel movie again.
Nice.
And
I still haven't watched it.
And outside of Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
I've largely kept to that.
It's fair. Like we had one of those deals with Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN. Mostly, more of because Sugar Waddle has some teams that she follows and stuff. But then when we realized what the ESPN deal was, if it's airing on one of their main channels, you don't get it on that. So it's basically useless. So I watched. I didn't really utilize the Disney Plus while we had it, and I really, really don't like Hulu being under the Disney Plus banner that way. So we're canceled it because it's useless. I did get Hulu for 99 cents a month on that promotion, but like, where am I going with this? Like, there's just so much of why do I bother? Why do I pay for things like Crunchyroll, High Dive, the anime?
The thing is, though, Punkwaddle, like, I guess you can kind of roll it into saying, like, you haven't gone to the theater a ton because you have streaming at home.
Yes. And also, the things that I want to watch aren't in the theaters right now.
Exactly.
Like TV, even with streaming, but like, I want to say since the lockdown years, there's a lot of big name movie stars who have gone to TV shows, which are more long term. Like, what's Stallone doing? What are some of these guys doing? That you look at how long these TV serialized series are, redundancy, and they've been going for 2 or 3 or 4 years. Like, I haven't watched Yellowstone, but that's been going on with derivatives for quite a while.
Oh yeah, Tisha's been going on about shows like all those Sheridan shows.
Yeah, and it's like there's nothing in the theaters, but there's all this actual long-term, not just simple project that they've invested in, and they're hanging out in their trailers and they're doing that.
Yeah, and it's like really, there's kind of with the way we kind of with thanks to really this YouTube side of things, we largely don't really need to go out and see it. For one thing, like, there's so much discussion around the films that, like, all the stuff that gets talked about that catches all the hype, you basically know the premise of just thanks to the internet.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. There's something to be said about the previews, and then so much of our quote critical culture. We've got so many critics that I'm going to go out and watch this so you don't have to, and so many people want to go watch it to tell other people what they think about it instead of just watching it for content. And so half the people who weren't necessarily going to think about watching it anyway will just wait to hear whose opinion they like the most or agree with the most and hear what they said. And it's like, that's good enough for me.
And it's like, ultimately, you can get a lot more hours of entertainment out of that than the cost of that one ticket.
Yeah.
Though, I will say, kind of looking over my scrapbook as I've kind of organized things, I'm starting to see like I've started to actually kind of slowly go back to the movies a bit more often. Like, for example, 2022, I think I went and saw like 4 films, maybe 5.
Yeah.
Sonic 2, Thor: Love and Thunder, Dragon Ball Super, and One Piece Film Red. It's like half of those were like little specialty, like certainly not the big Hollywood stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we've had for the last how many years the Fathom events where a lot of the Studio Ghibli stuff gets released throughout the year, and then they restart with
Every year.
different, and some the major ones, but they kind of go through some of the more obscure ones. I remember seeing Grave of the Fireflies like 8 years ago at one of the Fathom events, and that one's rough to watch, but I'd rather watch that in the theater than at home, because in the theater there's this kind of there's already this respect, solitude.
There's an atmosphere.
Yeah, yes. There's an ambiance. At home, it's just like, this is too heavy. No, I want to watch something else. And I think you put the nail on the head. The medium of home theater, the expectation of what we want to watch on home theater, what we want to watch on YouTube, because there's a lot of creators that have gotten burnt out because they want to make a higher production value. But when people are watching YouTube, they don't want to watch, they don't respect or honor or value the production value. They expect YouTube to show up in a certain way, and they gravitate to things that are a certain way. And so many people have dumbed down their production value and get more hits and more interactions because of that. It's just a weird thing of how we interpolate the platform.
So, for example, this year, I think I went and saw 6 films. Deadpool 3, Lawrence of Arabia, Star Wars Episode 1. When that got its re-release, I had the entire theater to myself.
Nice.
I just went and saw Sonic 3.
Yeah.
And I just saw Nosferatu yesterday. Oh, and Dune 2.
Okay.
Wait, what was these in the back? Was there something else? Oh, see, that's Dune Part 2. Yeah, sorry, it's weird. Like, I'm sorry. That's one of the things I'm like realizing. Like, there's certain theaters I like better for of all reasons for the ticket stubs. Because just to show you here, like I have these little ones. Like, this is for the theater closest to me. Like, that's super convenient. I can fit this right into my little thing here. But then in the back of the book, there's these big old giant ones.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm like, oh no, these are like the big IMAX. These are the big IMAX theaters. So I'm like, do I want to go see the movie in the best possible way, or do I want to get the nice, neat ticket stub?
It's funny how all these certain things start factoring into the choices we make, right? And why they're valuable to us, because it's silly. So, for you watching Sonic 3, you didn't, if you wanted the cool ticket stub that wasn't IMAX, you didn't mind the fact that Disney was trying to keep, them out of all the stuff, and they're still making more money.
Oh, yeah. No, there's totally that, too.
Yeah.
It is kind of nice as I'm kind of flipping through that. I'm looking back and I'm like, there's my ticket stub for Alita.
Nice. Okay. Well, yeah, there's something very important about the tangible, not just physical media of the entertainment, like people are really pushing for all the streaming and all this stuff, but holding on to physical, just being a pack rat like I am sometimes, and just all these little things that may never come to fruition, but I remember what they are and why I want to hold on to them. And as long as I have enough ability to keep them a room for storage, I don't want to let them go, because it all has sentimental value, and they have so many stories to tell, which I think is kind of the heart of, I don't know, like when I used to No, sorry. When I used to travel and everything was in
A suitcase, basically.
well, I had my suitcase with me, but I also had a storage unit with everything I owned, right? That I'd kind of come back to every now and then because for a little while I was quasi homeless because I was on the road so much, and I'd just come back when I'd come back near family because of, well, family growing and such. Didn't really have a room at the house anymore. I'd stay in one of those week, you know, pay by the week hotel rooms, and then maybe crash on a couch for a night in between because
Mm-hmm.
I was gone for 2 or 3 weeks and then back for one, and I could afford it, and so I wasn't paying rent anywhere, and I had a storage unit. So honestly, doing that lifestyle for 6-8 months was cheaper than owning an apartment and paying all the utilities, right? Like,
Like it's, I guess it's a lifestyle I've not really experienced, but I totally get that idea of like you want to have a place to call home where you put your feet up, where where you put your stuff at. You don't got to like be in other people's way.
yeah.
Like it's awkward. I did a little bit of couch surfing for a few months,
Mm-hmm.
and so while it was fine, it's still like it's not my home.
Mm-hmm.
But Vince, so based on the rate I'm going to the movies, like it might be like 4 movies a year, maybe 5, and I've got about another, and each sheet holds about eight ticket stubs, so that's 48 more movies. So I might be good for the next 5 years.
Well,
But
yeah, that reminds me of, you know how, like, have you seen when that 70s guy, when he shows his cork board or whatever, or maybe it's a scrapbook, whatever, but he has all these ticket stubs from all the concerts he's been to. Same sort of thing, like this bill, and I remember, this was back then, and I remember going to this concert and they played this album. It was just like, it's the same sort of, like, in the same way that it's just, it's part of the soul, I think, when we have these things that remind us why we value and what we care about. Because I know some nomadic people, like I said, if you don't carry that with you and have a memory of it, it's like, what do you lose along the way?
well, one of the things that, for example, something that stood out to me yesterday when I went to go see Nosferatu.
Okay.
And this to get into what you're talking about there. It's those memories you take and make when you go to these and have these experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So I've not exactly made a secret about the fact that I'm in Flint,
Right.
and at playing at the movies right now is a movie called Fire Inside, which is a boxing biopic about I cannot remember her name, but
I've seen the ad all over the place. Yeah, the chick who box, right? Yeah.
Clarissa Shields, who who's said to be one of the greatest female boxers of all time.
Mm-hmm.
She came from Flint, Michigan. So
Okay.
when I went to the theater yesterday, the place was absolutely packed. People just all over, just because it's basically a hometown hero.
Mm-hmm.
Like I somehow didn't realize it was going on because like I want, and I'm kind of,
you're good.
And I was kind of talking with some of the. I was talking with the lady who's running the ticket booth,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, "Well, what's going on? What's everyone saying?" She's like, "Oh, it's Fire Inside," and I'm like, "Oh, right, I forgot that movie had come out." And it was people buying tickets 4, 6 at a time because everyone is coming out to go see this movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Far, I mean, you're probably not wrong there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Flint water makes you hit harder because you get all that lead in your blood.
Yeah.
That's the secret. And I mean, unfortunately, I just let you guys all in on the secret.
Mm. Yeah. So really, it's not Ironcaster at all. It's Leadcaster.
Well, it's all metal to me.
Yeah, no.
Rock and roll.
It's just because in Batman they said it's who you are on the inside that counts doesn't mean if you can work with iron and it still can be important, right?
So, just kind of because I want to hit on it briefly because it was in the thumbnail.
Important
comic books.
Mhm.
Because I'm sort of reminiscing a little bit over the year and all the stuff that came out this year. And this year there was some like actually great comics that came out that were not Marvel, were not DC.
Okay.
And one of those was sort of in our neck of the woods with some big robots, Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
IDW just recently lost the license for Transformers for G.I. Joe, and it was eventually picked up by Skybound.
Okay.
By Image Comics under Robert Kirkman.
Mm-hmm.
And while issue 1 had come out in I want to say November, December of last year, it ran all this year, and it was legitimately one of the absolute best comic books that we got of the year.
Okay.
Vince, don't worry. I'll keep it a little spoiler free for you there, but let me pull up a couple of examples here. But this has been one of the most consistently. Why is this not pulling up?
Mm.
Oh wow, I am. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll go grab issue 4 just for some kind of random examples of the book.
Okay. I remember you showing off some of the covers and some of the stuff over the year too, and kind of raving about finally some really not finally, but just some good stuff. And like I said, being positive and focusing on the good art and the good creative stuff that we're getting is important.
There you go. And so,
nice.
Daniel Warren Johnson and his team on this book have done fantastic work. There's something about just the movement of them all. It all just feels like it flows.
The movement of the lettering just on the curve is beautiful. It's telling me so much without even before I read the text.
And he was also a big fan of. He was also a big fan of a lot of wrestling, so you see that kind of all throughout it. He's at one point, Optimus suplexes Starscream.
You'll love to see it.
He's just running him over.
Crunch. Nice.
And all of this is this big old buildup. It's Optimus, who literally ripped his arm off to beat a Decepticon with, because it was holding him back.
That's so 78-2.
It's yeah, this is Optimus Prime. This is so freaking good. Why couldn't we have gotten this with the Michael Bay movies? This is what you want to see.
Yeah.
Hurry, we will cover you.
Mm-hmm.
Pew 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 pew. Zack 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 zack. Chom 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 chom. You're
yeah, if I get one more lens flare, right? It's like having hot flashes for cinema.
Freaking. Rumble comes up and just hits Cliff Jumper right in the back, point blank.
Bam.
Optimus, inferior. Wait. Why do we hesitate? This is where they fix the squishy ones. Is that right? You're so pathetic. I can't even believe it. You bring these ants to a place to get repaired? As they've just been all freshly revived, and rather than reviving his the other Autobots, to fight the war. Starscream is mocking him for the fact that he would rather waste his little precious energy he has, his few resources to help out the humans. Like, this is Optimus. He's gonna put the needs of these humans who can't protect themselves from the war that they've unfortunately brought to them.
Yep.
All to save them when they're at a low. And Starscream, recognizing this, is going to take advantage of it because he is going to find that way to always stab, Megatron or whoever in the back.
Starscream's in, just the facial expressions.
Oh, and he takes such delight in this.
Well, it's interesting though, because didn't the original have face plates and not have?
Some did.
Okay.
And little things that also kind of popped up that I didn't realize, but I kind of found out through some of the letter sections. Like, here, this is the same issue. For example, Jazz comes rolling in. Jazz looks so great. We're back to like the classic, like iconic looks for some of these characters.
Oh yeah, those are some nice lines.
I mean, the motion blur he's got going on. This is, I've said it about a million times. This is like, if I'm going to recommend any one book from this year to read, it is Transformers. Like, you can not have any familiarity with Transformers and get into this.
Yeah. Okay. Like, this is just fun.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't own many comic books. I'm not a comic book nerd. The irony of me, kind of, because of entertainment and because of our love for big robots, heterosexual, no homo.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. So anyway, but like, and all this stuff and I love the art, and I love some of the artwork in comic books, but like, this would be fun to read through. I don't buy them because most of the time I feel like they do show a story, and I do love the panel art, but to me, if it's not so active and alive, it's not exciting to read through. This is why I loved DC animation in the 2000s, because of all the stories and how well they told them in animation. But this right here, like I said, this is so alive.
So you're saying this is one you might have to check out now?
Yeah, I'd be very interested. I don't know if I'd buy it or not, but I would definitely want to actually look through just seeing these pictures and seeing the way the frames are laid out and seeing just the energy and the motion, like you said. And there's the blurred lines and the heavy dark lines and cell shading. This is fun.
But also, just those little things, and going back through this and looking at it now. Like, for example, this panel here with Jazz, like, with the deliberate choices in motion. Look at his gun.
Yeah,
it's got all the sharp, then short lines. It looks super rough because it's in motion, whereas Jazz is staying fairly still.
Yep.
But there's a great little thing here that kind of popped up. Was, for example, Jazz. He's like 2, 5, 1. That's a baseline. Like, this is a music. This is like a music reference that DWJ hid within the book. That Jazz is dropping, going for literal bass lines. As he's, he's rocking and rolling.
Oh, that's actually really cool. So the root note and all that. Okay. The rhythm, the funk.
Oh, well, all this is going on. We have it goes from all this great action to having just these super kind of quiet moments. All this battle is going on around this hospital. Humans, Spike, the human sidekick, getting fighting for his life while all this battle's going on.
Okay. Nice.
And just the amount of guilt Optimus is feeling over this, like, look at what this war has done to the humans, to this human who I've gone and met and come to know.
Old school juxtaposition of story to, just the side by side narratives and how they're selling one story, but how each thread weaves an intricacy. I like it. And I like that it's showing you something and not just telling you, not just narrating it out for you to digest.
There is some great stuff that's come out of this. For example, one of the things I want to, the last thing I want to show out of this issue is just kind of the final moment of this. And this has become such a big part of the marketing for this comic. Optimus getting Megatron's arm.
He lost his arm and he got a new one. Nice.
Yeah. So there's been this kind of they've been building this kind of surprise of like Optimus's trailer has a lot of like the other bots kind of in it. Like he basically shoved a bunch of bodies in there. As kind of morbid as this sounds, that they're going to slowly try to bring back online. So as the show goes on, they're able to bring people online. And by the way, speaking of bringing things online, real quick, we have an anime guy in the background. So why don't we go ahead and bring him online here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Optimus Prime, what have you done?
He literally, it's like, how great is this image? Just this idea, with literally Megatron's hand. He literally has the blood of his, all the blood Megatron has shed on his hand, quite literally.
I'm not saying that District 9, finally made the push through, but I remember when we watched District 9 and the guy's like, my arm is alien. I can use alien tech. Holy crap. And like, he just does all the things, but like, I know that there's a lot of like the mech stuff and the interchangeable and weaving parts together and the why can't I think of when you make your own custom build and all that jazz?
Oh, kit bash?
Yeah, you kit bashing all this stuff. And like now we're seeing all this kind of cool stuff that maybe we thought about in the storylines, and it's really fun to see it. Kind of like the Astray, the gold Astray, after it gets stolen and uses the rock, that big,
the GPO one.
Yeah, and it uses the bazooka and it loses its arm, and then all of a sudden you get a Matsumina's, all with the Blitz arm and all these wings, and all of a sudden it's this completely new mecha after it got stolen.
So, real quick, I want to show you one last thing, and I think this is one of the best moments to help sell the book. This is the first the first 2-3 pages of issue 2. So we are right within the early run. Again, I cannot recommend this series enough, but there's just little quiet moments that just speak to the heart, speak to the soul. So again, issue 2. This came out, I think, December of 23, but this is, in my opinion, the best comic of 2024. Nice. So we have a freshly revived Optimus who's come to Earth and is now getting a chance to see all this organic life for the first time for himself, seeing just the rich array of life that Earth has to offer. That he's now unfortunately been forced to have this war fighting to be fought on Earth, and we see this moment where Optimus is seeing just the sheer diversity of nature. The birds.
Is this a retelling of the whole origins again for the umpteenth time, or?
Kinda, yes, but it's still worth it.
Nice.
I mean, we're ultimately going back to sort of that origin of like the ship, slammed into a mountain and them all being brought online. That is issue 1. We get a big old fight coming out of that. and now we're seeing sort of just a quiet moment between all of the combat, between all of the craziness of like the war being slowly being forced into the human environments. What beauty. It's unbelievable. Crunch.
What in the world? Oh, Nike.
I don't know.
Oh no. Optimus just learned how fragile the life here is.
Well, we're fleshies.
How fitting, though, for a deer to be hit by a truck.
Oh, the humor.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah. Maybe it's living its best isekai life.
And just with that,
Yeah, it just got truck-cooned.
yeah,
Sorry.
just 2 pages.
Okay.
Know this. I had no idea your home is so fragile. I suppose so. I never really thought about it that way. Everything is relative, I suppose. Where I am from, everything is metal. The ground doesn't sway when I walk, doesn't leave marks where my feet tread. I should have known better. Yeah, DJ Ronnie G is right. Emotionally total. This is
Yeah.
It was unexpected to come in and just right off the bat just get Optimus Prime kills a deer, and you feel bad for it because he feels bad.
It's the gravity. It's the like I said, this Autobot is now humanized. He's wise. He understands a great deal of things. There's a depth to the character. There's this somber undertone of everything he does now, right? There's this awareness. And now, like you said, the pages later where he's mourning his human friend who's fighting for his life while they're out battling, like all these things is building up such much greater character depth than a lot of things, Yeah.
Well, I hate to give it away a little bit, but the person fighting for their life is Spike here.
Oh, it makes sense.
Oh man.
Okay.
Now this looks like it's actually very well crafted in comparison to some of the other slop that's been coming out.
Like I said, this and here just to show you that page again.
Holy cow.
Skybound has done such a fantastic job with Transformers. This is without a doubt. I've said it 1,000 times now. This is the best book that's come out of this year. This is one of the best respectful treatments of a legacy IP by someone who grew up loving Transformers. Who, in the first in the back of the first issue, he tells this story about taking his brand new Optimus Prime toy to school one day and losing one of the fists on the school bus.
Oh
no.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a fun read. This is one I cannot recommend enough, and also it does a good job of bringing in G.I. Joe as well into this whole thing. Plus, it has some chances to try some new things out. As we see them kind of working in there with like I said earlier, like Optimus with Megatron's arm. It's like, okay, where are we gonna go with this now?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so this is about 15 issues in at the moment. So this has been going for a little while. Every about 6 issues is a story arc. So we are starting to wrap up the 3rd story arc. But yeah, ultimately that was if I'm going to recommend any one Western comic book to read, it's going to be that.
Very nice.
You have villains who are just absolute like terrible villains that you want to hate, but also you love seeing them be the villain.
Do I dare ask how the hell he got a hold of Megatron's arm?
That's been a mystery we've been having for so long. We really don't know about.
Oh, they haven't said anything. Ooh.
For the most part, like throughout all of this, we really haven't had Megatron in it at all. He's been sort of hinted at here and there, and sort of kind of in the background. Like, we have not had the face-off of Optimus versus Megatron. It's been all sort of hinted at as like backstory of like, where you see the Decepticons talking about like, well, what are we doing? We don't have Megatron. And then before someone can even finish saying Megatron's name, Starscream, don't say his name. I, Starscream, am the leader of the Decepticons.
Think again, Starscream. Have Galvatron show up and blow his ass away.
Yep, we also have a lot of the weird G.I. Joe stuff like Cobra Law getting brought in.
Ooh.
So if you're a fan of, the old 80s, back when cartoons knew what they were there to do, which is sell toys, it's one that you want to jump back on. And you're going to want to like start turning around and be like, dude, okay, I kind of want to get an Optimus now. But with all that said, though, Brandon, what about you for 2024? What has been some of your highlights?
Oh man,
should I go pull up any list?
Oh, I've got my any list already up. But well, where do we start? This year had a continuation, a wonderful continuation from 2023. And with Freyrin continuing, the Apothecary Diaries continuing, with so many others, Delicious and Dungeon starting, and then just looking at how everything shaped up through the rest of the year. Even though I stopped solo leveling, I am going to pick it up. I am going to finish it because this new season looks awesome. Dawn to Dawn is beyond wild. Kaiju number 8, bloody fantastic.
Oh yeah. I forgot about Kaiju.
Dawn to Dawn is one I have got to go ahead and start.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's
yes, you do.
I always kind of fall in this habit of like some shows I usually start like a season behind, and not necessarily because I want to not necessarily because of the whole binge argument, because I've got no problem waiting for that. Like I'm watching Daima as it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, I watch Kamen Rider weekly.
Oh yeah, Kamen Rider.
I don't know if maybe it's like because I'm a little bit reluctant to jump into something because it has hype.
Yeah,
Dawn to Dawn is worthy of the hype.
Okay,
very worthy. Well, that's just looking at these. This is what they consider the tops here. So solo leveling, Dawn to Dawn, Kaiju, Demon Slayer. Even though I'm behind, it's on my list. Mushoku Tensei. Why Mushoku Tensei?
Well, I've this year I did start season. I started and I finished season 1, so that I haven't started season 2 yet.
Good. It's a must watch. Delicious and Dungeon, fantastic. Konosuba, I watched season 1. I need to get through season 2 so I can get to season 3. I don't know about Classroom of the Elite, but someone thought it was good enough to get a 3rd season, so sure. Mashal, yeah. Slime Isekai, Aliyah sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. That one had some very memeable moments coming out of it. Especially Body Pillow and the Opie. But then there's Oshinoko, if you love Oshinoko. And of course, My Hero Academia. Go ahead and scroll down a little more. All of those are fantastic. ReZero, if you're into torture prawn, there you go. Wisteria Wand and Sword was fantastic, and it is getting a 2nd season. PNG Lock, they actually did an episode where they animated it instead of pulling the instead of doing their crappy whatever the hell they've been doing. And I guess from what I read about it, it looked awesome. But too bad it was, almost done. Yes, there is a new JoJo's Bizarre Adventure coming out this year. Tsukimichi, yeah, I'm going to watch that. My dear friend Nokotan, it was good for the lulls for about the first half, but once the exploding antler happened, that was it. That was pretty much it. Wrong way to use healing magic. Let's get another season.
Nokotan was good for basically the theme song, and that was basically it.
The lulls. That was it.
It was enjoyable for what it was, but it is not going to last the test of time, and no one's going to talk about it in a year.
Well, no one's
Heck,
talking about it
no
now.
one's talking about it now.
Yeah. Spice and Wolf, yes. If you're a Spice and Wolf fan, they've gone a lot farther. Uzumaki for that first episode was so good, and the rest of it sucked so bad. Chain Soldier, it's getting a second season. It wasn't my cup of tea, but I know that there are people out there that absolutely love it. Bleach, season 2 of Dangers in My Heart, not my thing, but still. Go ahead and scroll down some more. Let's see. No Longer Allowed in Another World is my hidden gem. Absolute must watch. It was so good.
Okay.
I watched that one as it came out. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. The soundtrack to it, the OST, it's fantastic. It's so good. But the author of this is the same author that did Love After World Domination. And I absolutely love that one.
Oh, okay.
And from what Shum was telling me, this guy has a tendency not to keep pace with his manga. So there's not too much more manga out there versus what's already been animated. I really hope we get a second season of it because it was fantastic. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
Chill in Another World was fun for about for a little while, but unfortunately, it's a forgettable one. Of course, you got to have your Super Sentai Go-Go Loser Rangers that get beaten up by the putties.
I still have to start it.
More anime Rangers since we're going to get the Red Ranger Isekai next season.
Yeah, the Super Sentai people are super happy about it.
Well, the thing is, like, we certainly need it because, well, it's not like Hasbro's going to be doing anything Power Rangers. They abandoned all of it. They sold everything off.
Yeah.
Yep.
They have nothing.
Free range on the Red Ranger.
Yep.
Free Ranger.
Oh.
For those that like Suicide Squad, I refused to check it out, but the people that liked it seemed to like it a lot. So, and who doesn't love gushing? They're getting a second season. I mean, how bad can it be if it's getting a second season?
Well,
see,
so bad.
I then went and read the rest of the manga.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Like I haven't.
I almost feel like I shouldn't admit that.
Yeah, the degeneracy
Probably not,
is gonna come
because
off.
I remember about halfway through, Brandon, you, me, Ronan. I don't remember if Ironcaster was on the stream, but a few of us were like, "It's so borderline. I don't know if I can finish it or not." I don't think I actually have. I have watched a few more episodes and I've seen some highlights of like the crap, like the things that they're doing, and then it's like, okay, season 2 is just building on that platform. At some point, either I don't know if they can successfully walk the line they're walking without trajectorily going way over 15 other lines.
The thing was, they actually went over the top of like the manga in some places.
It's nasty in the manga.
So it is honestly it serves as a filter anime. Like, it's one of those things that exists to kind of help gatekeep people out of anime that really shouldn't be here, because they're the types that want to come in and start dictating how everything has to be. And no, this is not your entertainment. This is not your medium. This is not from your country. So accept it for what it is. And, honestly, pick and choose your battles.
Yeah, exactly. That's 100% correct. And then on that same line, why Shangri-La Frontier?
Yeah. He's started.
I just finished season 1.
He did say
Shangri-La.
So to be
Frontier.
fair, if he started Shangri-La Frontier like 2 weeks ago, like I think around then, and he's gotten through 25 episodes, he's been chugging away. So
that is chugging away.
He's become a true believer, and he still has 13 episodes to go to catch up to current.
Yeah,
so by next week, I expect you to be current at the rate you're going.
Well, I'm still 8 episodes behind, so I get you there.
So at the moment, I'm sort of at a crossroads because I've now finished one series. So I have there's sort of the question of which series should I start next? Which 12 episode anime should I jump into next?
Shangri-La Frontier.
Okay, I'll go for season 2 and just go ahead
Yeah.
and check that.
Well,
off
that's only the first half, so we've got to continue. It's another 24, 25 episode season, so. And I'm happy that the Unwanted Undead Adventure, I liked it, and it is getting a second season. That makes me happy because that one was good. Of course, Don Machi, and if the other ones, if you like the first seasons and it's got a second season, it's good. And I also did like the Archdemon's Dilemma, but that's one of those that's just not going to get a second season, even though it probably could.
Let me zoom in a little bit closer here,
There
so
we
you can
go.
see hey, this is one I did complete. So I agree. I enjoyed it for what it was, and it
Yep.
it fit a good gap in sort of in that seasonal breakup of shows. It serves as kind of like a generic fantasy show with we get a little bit of action sprinkled in, but it's ultimately just kind of like a little innocent romance sort of thing going on.
Pretty
Kind of
much.
Archdemon's Dilemma was last season, and this season there was the Dragon Life Isekai, Dragon Life Reincarnation.
Good. Yeah.
They
Goodbye
both-
Dragon Life. I really liked it too.
They both fit that sort of niche in a seasonal watch list, even though they're both fairly generic and forgettable. You're certainly not going to be getting a fighting game off either one of these anytime
Well,
soon.
everyone needs a Lamia.
True. And unfortunately, we're not getting another season of the Monster Girl, my life with Monster Girl.
No. Although I will say probably my biggest disappointment was Remonster. That was not very good.
Oh,
See, we disagree with you on that one.
I went
The-
through
the-
the 10 episodes and I was ready to. No.
well, by
See-
episode 3, we get the harem ending already.
Yeah. And then by 7 or 8 all the babies were made. The thing, okay, here's the thing about Remonster, and it kind of, and this is I think where it hits, because it kind of feels like a shonen of the narration and talking, but instead of taking 4 episodes to get somewhere, it gets it in 1 episode. So you get all the stuff, it's a much better pacing. So it has this sort of casual watching vibe, but if you're not paying attention, you'll actually miss something.
Yeah.
So that's where I think it struck a chord. And I will say in the Gurren Lagann juxtaposition of every episode, it's so much bigger. He's evolving. Something is growing. At the end of the episode, you're like, how did we get so far? How did we
Yeah.
expand so much?
It was very fast paced. And of course, Arthur Weta, if you liked it, it's there. Blue Exorcist. The Osan Nubi Adventure, I didn't watch, but I've heard good things. And of course, Fairy Tale, 100-Year Quest.
Yeah.
Overlord
They were over
movie.
and then they weren't.
I really need to go back and jump back into Fairy Tale. I remember I was all into the manga when it was coming out, but then I sort of fell off it.
That's one I'll put on because I started watching that over a decade ago with a friend, and so we got quite a ways through, and so now I'm past the 7-year gap, and so there's some times where I'll just, if I'm editing or something, I'll put it on in the background, or if I'm kind of eating while trying to work on it, just looking, browsing the internet, looking through Twitter, I'll have it on so I can work through it.
Background
Yes.
sound. Yeah, get it. The other show that's probably one of the more disappointing ones is 2.5 Dimensional Seduction.
Really?
It censored the shit out of itself, so yeah.
Okay.
Metallic
Even on
Rouge is
High
another
Dive?
one that's disappointing, and then another one that was disappointing is the next one. Right to there it is. The strongest magician in the Demon Lord's army is actually human. I thought it was going to be better than it was, and it wasn't very good.
That was one I wanted to try out, but then I think I found one of those other season back or so series that I was
Better
like,
ones.
I'm gonna go play catch up instead.
Same with Bartender. That's that one's based off of a 20-year-old mid-2000s series. It's just a continuation of it. So It's different. It's different pacing, but you know, it is what it is. Let's see what else. What
So
else?
was the new gate just not Sword Art Online?
I never watched it. I don't know.
Because that
I
totally looks
watched.
like Sword Art Online with the serial numbers filed off.
I
Possibly.
watched one episode of it and I can't remember
Well, there you go.
because I
There's
really
your
thought
answer.
it was like a remake or an updated version of Gate, and I was wrong.
Yeah. Out of these 5, I liked You Are Miss Servant, but I got so busy with everything else that I dropped it. But I absolutely adored Grandpa and Grandma Turn Young Again. That was so heartstring pulling.
Oh, sorry. It just dawned on me. I know why I didn't watch The Strongest Magician. It was because I started watching Jujutsu Kaisen.
Ah,
Oh,
there
okay.
you go.
But
Let's
yeah,
see
no, I
what's-
remember you were talking about Grandpa and Grandma like all the time when that came out.
Yeah, I did enjoy it, and it's definitely worth a one-time through. Although I don't know if they've dubbed it, and that doesn't matter. And of course, Dragon Ball Daima. I got through most of Loner Life in Another World. The poor bastard just wants to be left alone, but his schoolmates won't leave him alone. And I think that one. No, it's not that one that's getting another season, but there's another one on here that's coming up that is, which I'm surprised because I thought it started okay, but I dropped it. The Let This Grieving Soul Retire is getting a second season. Tales of Wedding Rings is getting a second season. Of course, Date Alive 5. Yakuza Fiance, I dropped it. It got too stupid for me. Demon Lord 2099 was terrible. If you're going to watch Ranma, just watch the original.
Fair enough. That was kind of what I assumed about it.
Yeah. It's not terrible, but yeah. All right. On this one. The one on the far left looked interesting, but it's definitely more of just a time filler type thing. The Most Notorious Talker was fantastic. That one needs a second season so
I'm
bad.
finally starting. That one, for some reason, just wasn't on my radar at all. And then in the last couple of weeks, it just popped up. And I've been
Oh, it's
meaning to sit
good.
down and watch a couple episodes to get hooked on it.
Yeah, I enjoyed the crap out of that one. That one was really good. It had better get a second season. I'm gonna be pissed.
What do you think about this? I've started to notice this with Crunchyroll, where some services will get the episodes like early, like a week early or so. That's something I started to notice with that Crunchyroll was doing, but then a week or two later, Netflix will get Dragon Ball Daima.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a whole nother can of worms. I saw a thing. I think it was who put it up? Chibi Reviews did a review of an article. Netflix has made anywhere from 2 to 3 times more just on their limited anime versus what Crunchyroll has made in the same time frame. Sony is not handling their business worth a damn.
Yeah, I've heard some things about that too.
Well, that, and they've also got massively ass sore, like with Dawn to Dawn. That one split between them and Netflix. They refuse to do any type of advertising for Dawn to Dawn, precisely because they didn't have the exclusivity rights to it.
Well,
And they're starting to get all pissy and butt sore because Netflix also has One Piece.
But they only have I think the first about 2. I think you only have up through Skypiea, and then even select seasons.
no, they finally they got another big chunk a month or
They
two
got
ago, right?
everything up to Fishman.
Okay.
And then they have Wano, and they also are getting Egghead.
Okay.
So Sony's blowing it, and they're blowing it bad, precisely because they're full of morons. But speaking of not blowing it, let's see what else is on there.
Well, although I will say I don't hate the premise. I think it's actually probably a good idea to do for a streaming service to license out earlier seasons of a show as sort of a marketing.
Yeah.
Oh,
especially
yeah.
for the long running ones.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like if you for example, Paramount wants to license out only like seasons, say 1 and 2 of Star Trek: The Next Generation, but then keeps the next 5 held back.
Yeah.
Yep.
That way you get to season 2, you start getting the good episodes, and you're like, I gotta get some more of this. Only to find out it's all over on Paramount Plus. That's that's a strategy that could work.
Yeah. Well, like you said, making money. Well, with Paramount though, if Paramount being the owner of it, they'll make money for licensing it out, and then they'll get the money for subs for people coming back through. And then when it's all on their platform, they can rewatch it from the start, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Sony, like what they didn't make. I mean,
They don't make any of it.
right. So they're distributing it through Crunchyroll, but then they're losing their foothold on lots of things because Sony's making some great decisions. Sarcasm.
Geniuses.
Yeah.
But at least they're not Warner Brothers.
They're for a while there, Paramount was running neck and neck with them, but to change topic just ever so slightly. Ever since the discussion for Skydance to buy out Paramount, Discovery has been made non-canon. And that has caused Paramount's viewership to go up.
So I've been kind of a mindset that ultimately it's not going to matter what is or isn't canon in that official sense, because really the next showrunners are going to come along and they're going to kind of pick and choose whatever they want to acknowledge. And really, if you're writing the current show, you could sit down and retcon whatever from the old stuff and kind of forget.
Yeah, don't watch any new Trek. It's still all trash. Although, as it stands today, the Lower Decks show does take place in the standard Prime continuity because I've watched the first 4 seasons because I kind of know what's going on with it. I understand the whys, the whats, and some of the things they're trying to do with it, and I don't actively hate it as compared to STD. But with Lower Decks, in the very last episode, they basically made the whole Klingorks thing its own thing, and it sounds like they may just banish STD for what it is, a transmitted disease that needs to go away. Speaking of things that need to go away, I thought Sasuke and Pizza was going to be better, but it wasn't very good. And the rest of those on that line, I have no idea.
I mean, there's certain tropes just really blew up. Like for example, there's been a whole slew of getting reincarnated as a villainous manga that turned into an entire genre.
Oh yeah,
it is so
always one each season. There's always one.
That is one of the most fascinating things I've seen when it comes to anime and manga. It's where you can take just one simple concept, like, oh, I got reincarnated in a new world, and that becomes an entire genre in and of itself.
And then subgenres out of it.
And then someone comes up with a new niche that takes that genre, and we spin off with a whole other little subgenre over here that becomes an entire industry of itself. So now we have the villainesses. We got to have someone getting reincarnated as a girl. That's gonna be a full of tropes.
Neat. Oh, here's the one for this upcoming season. What? My old man dies, gets truck-cooned, gets reincarnated as the villainess, and has to decide to save the world or not. It's like, and every chance it's gonna be they're going with that. But I didn't like Sasuke and Peeps. I avoid villainous shows typically now. What's on the next line?
Sword Art Online, which I've been seeing Crunchyroll's been putting out a bunch of shorts for lately.
The Gun Gale stuff is... I watched the first season. It was okay. I haven't really... They're all back and playing again, and after the first 15 minutes of the first episode, I'm like, okay, so what's happening? We're all back. The party's again. Give me a reason to watch.
Yeah. No, I all I know is all these ones... If they're continuing, great, but I didn't watch any of them. What's on the next line? I can't tell.
Oh, sorry.
No idea. No. Doctor release, no.
Code look, reincarnated as an aristocrat.
Yay.
Yep, another one. The Magical Girl and the Evil Lieutenant. I heard that one was pretty good, but it wasn't up my alley. Whereas Near Automata is, but I'm behind on that. Sound Euphorium. If you liked it, you're going to watch it. None of the other shows. What's next? Okay. Beastars, that's stupid. Didn't
it-
watch any of those.
I remember when Beastars first came out, it got a lot of attention.
It did.
Yeah, and now it doesn't. But I can tell you on the next row, yeah, the Your Next movie, the One Piece fan letter, so fucking good. And this one on the right, the far right, 'Tis Time for Torture Prisons. Himizama.
Yes.
I absolutely adored it. I thought it was hilarious. I laughed so hard. And I thought, you know what? There's no way in hell this one's getting a second season. Right after it finishes, we're getting a second season. Yeah.
It deserves it because this was
Yes.
such a delight, especially right at the start of the year. It was a good series to set the year out fresh.
Yes. And then on the next line, you know, Dragon Isekai, I liked it. I wanted to get a second season, but it probably won't. Journey to Another World is just, it's good for the kids. Fluffy Paradise, I loved Fluffy Paradise, even though it's just oh, it deserves better, but it won't get it. And let's see on the next row. Studio Apartment, Good Lighting, Angel Included. I dropped it at the last episode. That last episode just didn't do it. And The
Oh.
Fable I got bored of because it's almost too realistic. Too realistic look at how the Yakuza currently operates in Japan. So, well, that, and it's also a Hulu exclusive. And I said, you know, Duck Fisney. So, and of course, if you're a Black Butler fan, how could you not watch Public School Arc?
The Do-Over Damsel. Oh, look, what's this? Another reincarnation isekai?
Yep.
Well, even that itself is like another kind of twist on isekai thing where it's not even, they're not even getting isekai. We're just kind of rewinding time, and now you get to do certain things over
Yep.
again.
So I just want
Relive
to
your
say,
life and not screw it up.
I just want to say this for all the tropes that we're getting, and I know we're getting more maid stuff, and there's niche and all that stuff. But what I want to see is more Akiba Maid War.
Yes.
That's what I really want to see. The hostess, the mob, like as silly and like that was so over the top of just being absurd, silly, and so dark and gruesome at the same time. And the
so
things,
unrealistic.
well, that, but then there was like, but there was yes, but there was so many serious undertones of it. Like when it takes how long to realize that the quote new girl is actually one of the old school mob bosses, like who's so entrenched in this that like you don't realize because the way she acts and how she's trying to be proper and like all this stuff that
Oh, Vince, it's not PG. It is not PG rated.
But it's just there's this like there's so many real dark undertones and like a real dark story that if you actually take the time to let it play out and think about all the interactions that you see, you realize that it's like two levels, and the once again the medium of the art and the absurd and the over the top is what keeps you from seeing how dark it really is, right? From the top.
Oh yeah. The whole thing around maids is pretty dark, yeah.
So Loki says there's no way to give a skull out. Okay, well, unfortunately, we don't have super chats here enabled currently. We're still working on that. We gotta get the watch hours up. Get the I'm almost at 800 subs. I just gotta get the watch hours up, and then I think I should be able to start getting the super chats enabled. But in the meantime, I can't give you this.
It will help.
I was hoping you would play that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So this next row, all I know is that there's no. Nope. Well, you see, I tried to watch the Cafe Terrace and its goddesses, but I couldn't do it. But if you like it, you like it. And of course, who doesn't love Urusei Yatsura? Seriously. I tried Mecha Ude, but I couldn't do it.
I can't do the art. I like the concept, but
yeah, good concept. Yeah, just okay. What's next? What else is there? Okay, I got to the last episode of Quality Assurance and I dropped it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah,
that was when you said had an interesting gimmick to it, I believe.
It did, but it doesn't. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't think it's getting a second season though, or at least not that I'm aware of. What's on the next row?
Yeah, it's a shame.
None of those. Next row. Yeah, where do we start with the plus-sized elf other than 285,000 views for a clip that I created?
Looks like Luck is going to show you how to skull later.
Yeah, then there's the Duke and his maid, season 3. Some vampire stuff, Demon Lord Retry R.
A lot of Demon Lord stuff too.
Oh yeah,
reincarnated
Demons of vampires.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so before you came on, we did have a little talk about Plus Size Elf, and just how fantastic that show is. It is another one that I would say kind of serves as sort of another one of those filter anime.
Yeah.
That at the same time, you would think also should surely work for a certain subsect of, we'll say, the Twitterati,
yeah.
which is the blue hair, the blue hair types.
The blue hair Landwell Brigade.
Well, yes and no at the same time, because
Yeah.
you think about it, like there's a lot of like, it's got a lot of body positivity to it with a lot of differently sized characters to it.
There's no body shaming in this one.
Nope.
Well, although the premise of it itself, though, losing weight goes against
Oh,
it.
Yeah. Well, you
it's
can't
Like
transfer.
certainly the new California chief officer of body positivity or whatever whatever the fuck her job is, surely is going to hate this series. And if it's not California approved, then I think it's good enough for me.
It's FFA, French Fries Anonymous.
That's right. Oh, I don't know about the rest of them. Now on this next one, I did watch Dungeon People all the way through, and it was different. It's a different take on the dungeon world. The art style is also a little different, but I don't think it's going to get a second season. I don't think it's cut out for that. The rest of them, well, Runa Kenshin. If you're not watching that, then what the hell's wrong with you?
Well, look, in my defense, I've had so many other seasons behind shows I've been catching up on.
Yeah,
that
it's hard.
Yeah, my defense too.
I mean,
I'd also admit that's my defense.
Okay.
I mean, here, let me
Good. Pot
Let
kettle
me-
black. Got it. Okay.
pull up my defense. Oh wait. Oh yeah, there we go. That's what we'll do. So here's kind of where I'm at with stuff. Like, I have 700 series. I'm totally gonna watch this.
I should probably make an Annie list myself.
Yes, it helps. It helps you keep track. Well, let's see what you got on here. You have to finish Freyrin before the new season starts. Now we don't know the when, so you've got time. Captain Harlock, yeah. Devilman, Konosuba, yeah. Finish Plus Size Elf. They're only 11 minutes long.
Oh yeah, those ones are easy to just kind of get. They're like snacks. You kind of get a little snack anime
Yeah.
between meals.
Gotcha, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I dropped Grendizer U. I didn't like it as much.
The
as
issue
thought
I
it was
had,
going to.
look, for me, Crunchyroll has become such a convenience for this that I've kind of gravitated towards Crunchyroll just for the convenience of having all the anime. I'm able to just lay out on my bed and watch it with the remote. I don't have to go through any other illicit sites to find this stuff. Whereas Grendizer U broke that trend for me. I had to fight to find it.
Yeah, it was not.
Ooh.
It was not released in the States. It didn't get picked up. But the rest of them, the rest of them are fine. How not to summon a demon lord? Oh,
Little Mazen Kaiser. We've got a little bit of a theme there.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Of course,
Yeah, big robots.
the Mechpit. Let's see what's out. There's still a few more shows in the season.
That's
that we
right.
haven't. Let's see.
Oh, I will say this side note for mech lovers and Gundam lovers that I know I put this in one of the back channel chats, but Gundam X After War is now available on Tubi. So
Ooh.
I have not seen that available, and it's hard to find on DVD without being pretty expensive. And so now it's free on Tubi. So
Very good. I
So-
spy with my little eye.
So the next-
Braveheart.
absolutely. And
don't get
we
him
missed it
started.
before
Oh,
because we had I had to go over a whole spiel about how mecha anime only works when it's gay, because when they go Yuri, like it turns to shit. Nobody liked the Witch from Mercury.
Yeah.
Like you have to have
I think you mean
shirtless dudes.
it turns to ship.
It has to be Mad Mardigan approved.
Okay, Air Force and Navy playing beach volleyball shirtless and oiled up. Obviously, Mad Mardigan is excited about that. And maybe now that he rebooted his channel, we need to get him to do a review on this show. And I'll just send him
Absolutely.
a clip of you saying how gay and amazing it is. Even though I don't
Braveheart
think
is
he
as gay as it gets. It
Yeah.
is so gay, but it was so great. That's something you'll never hear me say other than that. It is so gay.
Oh, I
It was
heard
so good.
Ironcaster say how he got inside of his cockpit like 15 times.
Yes, he did like the innuendo in the phrasing. Let's see what
Yeah,
else is on here.
yeah,
Here we go. Wait.
Oh Lord.
We have to have just a small clip just to kind of show you just
In Spanish?
how unabashedly gay we get here.
His glutes?
先から当たってるんだよ
Oh.
Yeah.
あれって
Even they're like, this is too gay. And of course, when
The
it goes
Fujoshi.
to rule 5, when it's so gay that it's only for the wine moms. There you go. Because she's the only one getting a nosebleed over it. No one else is.
Yep.
Like we have a bondage scene in there at some point too.
Yep. What else
But-
is in this year?
Gay.
So I said Braven was probably my top anime of the year.
It was fun. It was well worth the watch. I Spy with My Little Eye, Hanako-kun, and MF Ghost. MF Ghost is fantastic. And we are getting a season 3. What were the
I
other
see it here. Sorry, I did not recognize it.
Yeah. Don't recognize. Well, let's see. We've got more Baki, more Bochi, Natsume Book of Friends. The Isekai Onisen Paradise, that was not released here. On the next row,
Oh, I got to look into that.
yeah. I like the idea of a terrified teacher at a ghoul school, but it didn't turn out very well. Shy was too stupid, and I have no idea how the hell it got a second season.
I couldn't watch 3 episodes of it.
Yeah, it
Shaman
wasn't good.
King, I remember got a lot of attention in certain little subsects of kind of, I remember as Shaman King back in the day, but then no one ever really talked about it.
I remember Pop Culture Mechanic saying that he watched a little bit more, but I can't remember if he dropped it eventually or if he kept watching it.
There's also
think he's-
Kingdom, if you like Kingdom, but
Is Kingdom any good?
I have no it keeps getting seasons, so someone must like it. All right. This one is kind of a misnomer because it actually doesn't start in everywhere else until the 1st, but we got it early. Benekio, the elf girl's cat, is secretly an S-ranked behemoth monster.
I may have
That's-
watched that today.
Episode 2 airs in 4 days.
I
So-
watched the first episode.
Is this is this a season 1, season 2?
Season 1.
Season 1, and it's on High Dive. And
Yep.
it's on High Dive for a reason.
Yep.
Okay, so I can go jump into that and watch the first episode tonight.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
jump right into the nestle in there.
Yes, jump right in.
I'm just
And be
gonna-
sure to
that's
give your be sure to pet your cat on their belly and see what
And-
happens.
and also if you want the claws, you're gonna get scratched.
Yep.
Yeah.
One Piece Fishman Island arc redo, 7 Deadly Sins. Yeah, there's OVAs and movies and stuff. I refuse to watch Terminator 0.
I've heard good things about it, but at the end of the day, Terminator is just kind of one movie, and I don't need any more than that.
Terminator is
Yeah.
2 movies. Because Terminator
Yeah.
2 is the penultimate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I'm
Terminator 1
good.
is a better movie objectively.
Okay.
Terminator 2 is a good action movie, but as far as the story goes, T1 is better.
I will pull a Tom Connors on you and talk about the cultural impact of Terminator 2 as it's earned its place in everything. But I don't disagree with what you're saying either.
Oh, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like it is one of the most iconic films of all time for a reason.
This is why I said there's two. I didn't say there's any more. You know, like.
Yep.
I mean, but I'm not even trying to argue with you. We can move on. We can agree.
Let's see. What's next
We can
on
be
the
friends.
thing?
Ya boy Con Ming.
It's just a condensed movie rehashing the first season. I really hope we get a second season, but man, it's dragging, so who knows. I want to watch Sandland. I really do, because I also got the game and I've started the game and I like it, but it's a tough one.
The game was
Let's
on
see.
sale a few times and I almost bought it.
Didn't we lose Akira Toriyama this year?
We did. Yeah,
that's right.
Back in March, April, right in that range. Let's see, what else is on this list? Okay, scrolling down just a little bit more. All right, High Speed Etoile. I was expecting more and I was disappointed. They spent all their money on the 3D CGI for the cars, and they're gorgeous. But it's a shitty show. It is not good.
So it sounds like that's going to be a series that, that some of our are going to be into. Makini Draws would probably like it because he draws motor girls.
Because it's terrible.
Well, because he likes cars.
Yeah, no, you can watch Initial D and still get your rise from that. Solo
from
level,
the D.
Wait a minute, is this showing?
Okay.
All right, that's right. They did have a solo level movie.
Right.
Oh,
is that
it's the first two
available
episodes.
on?
Oh.
It's just the first two episodes of next. Sexy. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So it's just a compilation. So I'm ready to watch the episodes when they come out. That one started off real strong, and it kind of kept the hook in me the whole time. So I'm glad I finished.
I need to pick back up on it and see if I can tolerate it, because I only got to 3 episodes and I dropped it. Let's see. Nothing else on that line.
Oh
Nothing
God!
else from the next line.
Fucking hell! What did they do to Rick and Morty? No.
Messed it up.
Szechuan sauce.
Yeah.
So Solo Leveling was a series I wound up pairing with Jujutsu Kaisen. And so I kind of watched those two, side by side with one another, and that made for an interesting kind of parallel to where they sort of, where even sort of the weaker parts of Solo Leveling were offset by Jujutsu Kaisen's excellence.
You do have a valid point too. Like, what are you watching that season? Because when you have certain shows that fill a certain spot and certain shows that kind of aren't the strongest point, but they hit all the other numbers way better than the other ones. So it's worth watching because you get hooked on that feeling.
And I think that is an interesting discussion to be had, because that's something that's something that does warrant some further discussion.
Agreed.
And
Brandon, take notes.
Yeah, and I think we absolutely have to do this at some point, Brandon, right alongside getting back to One Piece. But just this idea of the importance of, much like how you want to balance out your diet and not just eat nothing but sugary junk food and the pure shonen action, you also want to be able to balance that out with some other genres that way you can kind of have a more rounded appreciation for a more rounded entertainment.
Because I think, we can get into more later. Because it's why I've watched. There's certain shows that I watched, half the season. But if I watched them towards the end of the season and didn't pick up, and then I finished the other shows that I was watching with them, I didn't need them to offset it. And I kind of let those go. So, all right, that's actually a really good point.
Yeah. Well, this new season, I've started doing a new thing. I'm actually doing videos again, but I've been doing previews for the shows one day before they air. So I've got 2 of them up.
Okay.
The Bahenko one and what's the other one that I just dropped? Bogus Skill Fruit Master. About that time, I became able to eat unlimited number of skill fruits that kill you. It's probably going to be terrible, but you know what? I'll give it. It's on the list. I'll give it a try.
It's giving me some vibes of Chain Soldier.
Yeah,
Mm.
maybe. Yeah. Then looking at the rest of this, Sensuality Noir, Usume or Uma Musume Pretty Derby. Yeah, if you like that, you'll watch it. What else is
I
there?
heard
There's
You've-
still
I
stuff.
you've
heard
only
there's
got,
a
like-
rumor that
You've only got
the
10 shorts for it.
Uma Musume, there's like a kind of a gacha type game that was only in Japan. And I've heard, and this might summon Shum, but I've heard rumors that it might go global here this year. And if it does, maybe we'll lose Shum to a horse girl gacha game.
Well, what they need to do is release like an online like horse girl racing game. Not necessarily the gotcha, but
Well,
just a standalone racing game, and then we could have like the Anime 101 Horse Girl Racing League.
oh yeah.
Oh yes.
I'm just saying. I think it's an idea we could push and sell.
Yes.
We
What
should
else
market-
is on this list? What else is on here? Let's see. Nope. Precure. Yeah.
The only thing of note that I'm really seeing is Gundam Suit Freedom, because there's always an obligatory. Let's see if they can redeem Kira Yamato, Space Jesus himself.
I still need to watch that. It's
So do I, actually.
It's on Hulu, which I have for 99 cents, so I'll watch it before the end of the year.
Yeah. None of this stuff.
I mean, before the end of next year.
Yeah, we're starting to get
keep
down.
going.
Yeah.
We're pretty
Gotta
well.
watch Gundam at some point.
That was fun. There were some blatant issues with it that it was hard for me to get past. Some of the God in the Machine moments, but for the most part, the characters were better written than we anticipated, being that they seemed very modern, but the grunts,
There's a literal trailer listed.
I did watch one episode of Wonderful Precure. Yeah, it about rotted all my teeth out.
High praise.
Yes.
Which
Well, let's see what else.
I-
I did.
I will say I've noticed that there is a interesting kind of parallel where you'll get some of the magical girl stuff gets marketed right alongside like Kamen Rider, for example, because there's like one appeals to the young boys, one appeals to young girls.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's like one of the I think the Precure idol girls went and like married one of the Kamen Riders at some point.
I had TP Bone on the list, but I couldn't do it. Snack Bossue was not good, even though it's realistic to small, tiny dive bars in Japan.
I remember liking initially the bartender, but then it just got lost.
Yeah, and that's
It was
the problem.
beautifully drawn, but it's like the story was only so compelling, and it's just like I only have so much time in a day, and
Yeah.
if I'm
What else is on
exhausted,
here?
I don't
here,
want to
just
watch a show that'll make me go asleep.
Here, this is what I was talking about. While I bring this up, like there's a wizard with one of the Precure
Wow.
people apparently shipped them together and they made fan art.
There you go.
At least they're not doing the Rule 34 type of fan art, so we're good there. What's next?
yeah.
What's next?
Okay.
We had Grendizer, but that was
Yeah.
of course I dropped it. Actually, I really need to update that. In fact, let's go ahead and just get that off my list.
Yep. Get it off there. Let's see. Nothing there.
Okay, I see a big robot here. I don't know what this is.
Remember
It's currently airing.
36 episodes. Good crap. Yeah, I think we're pretty well done.
Shinkalion. I know
Middle
the script
schoolers doing their thing. Oh, Lord.
a robot that transforms into a bullet trains to prepare for the threats.
I remember hearing about this.
How did I not know about this?
I remember somebody had you play the preview or somewhere I saw the preview.
Where's
And
this
it's-
airing?
That's a great question.
Oh, can I watch it on their channel?
It's not
Yes,
here.
it's not on Crunchyroll. It's not on any of them. That explains it.
Yeah. I hate it when they exist, but you don't easily find them.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else, but just in case, keep scrolling. Keep going. Nope. Nope.
Oh, Kinnikuman.
Yeah.
Of course, that's a movie getting ready for the series that we're getting.
Oh,
we got some specials.
Yeah, the 2 episodes were funny. Of course, they had the beach episode. Yeah,
we've got some Kamen Rider here, which I gotta get to. I gotta figure out how to watch that movie. But this is basically just Latino slant as a Kamen Rider.
Pretty much.
With or without the mustache.
Oh, he has the mustache.
Paulie doesn't have the mustache anymore.
Orale.
Well, he used to. Remember, remember him and Mexican Iron Man used to get into it. He's always called a caterpillar on his face.
Pretty much. Yeah, the rest of it's just yeah.
Look, he has the mustache.
Oh yeah.
I mustache you a question.
And it's the hat.
And he's got the scarf.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Orale."
That's that's what he says when he transforms. Orale henshin.
Orale henshin.
Go down to the red one. I think the red one makes me think of. Yeah. Maybe not a real depiction, but I can see.
Oh no, he's bald.
I can see the red version pairing up next to Mexican Iron Man and taking on the world.
But yeah, I have been very grateful for the anime of this year because we had a ton of good stuff, ton of trash, but a ton of good stuff.
What about Kamen Rider War Machine? Come on.
I actually have an image that someone created of Iron Man and War Machine with damn it, from Bubblegum Crisis.
Oh, okay.
Let me see if I can find it here real quick.
Still need to watch Bubblegum Crisis.
I mean, so just kind of going down the rest of the list here, there's nothing else that stands out to me, certainly, because I spent more time watching back catalog stuff.
That's true.
Wait. That's VTuber.
No idea.
That's Calliope Mori. One of the Hololive English girls.
I'll take your word for it.
Oh, I need to watch the Isekai.
It was used for part of the Suicide Squad marketing.
Oh, that's right.
I need to watch the Suicide Isekai since I do have Hulu.
Here we go. I found it. Let me share it with you.
And Rohirrim.
No.
I wouldn't necessarily call that anime.
I call it a bastardization.
Yes, about a story, about a character. Oh, yes.
Yep, the Night Sabers.
Ooh.
Iron Man and War Machine with the Night Sabers.
I do like that art style. It's like the young version of Marvel Rivals, or it's like the kid chibi, not quite chibi, but you know what I mean? It's not buffed out.
It reminds me of some of the artists that will put fan art into the Udon comic collections for Darkstalkers or Mega Man or some of those other ones.
True.
But all that said, that was, like I said, ultimately it was a pretty good year. There's some good little hits in there. We had some good stuff from the movies. We had some good good comics. I certainly recommended enough. And that was, and not to mention so many hours spent here on YouTube with you guys. So I suppose sort of in kind of closing things out tonight, guys, I want to thank you two in particular. Well, first I want to thank you two in particular because you've come, not just come to spend the time here with me tonight, but all the hours over the years that we've spent hanging out, spending, all these hours kind of bullshitting on YouTube, talk about anime, talk about pop culture, all the stuff that has helped shape who we are, helped to kind of be the foundation of who we are as people. It's something that, has been kind of overlooked for years in the past. And we got to remember, we got to keep fighting for this stuff because this is the stuff that matters. This is what shapes us. There's a passion to all these things. I mean, I'm certainly not going to go and get, the straw hat, tattooed on me because, I don't care about this. No, I care about this,
Yeah.
I mean, just wait until next year I get like the Bravern, like tramp stamp.
If you get a Braver and Tramp stamp. Oh, man.
No, I'm gonna like just kind of tattoo just above my waistband.
Oh.
Well, as long as you don't have the sword reaching around from the back to the front, we'll be okay. The long sword of justice. The axe pull.
It's gonna be Lewis Smith shirtless on my back.
Yeah. Oh boy, that is so gay.
But I hope that 2025 is half as good as 2024 was, because
yeah,
there was so much we came together over all these, watching anime movies over with Pops, and talk about Vampire Hunter D, talking all the puppet stuff that's come up, and the Cotton Council stuff we've been doing all for every Saturday night, damn near. There's
Yeah.
It's keeping me out of trouble. I'm not out there like raising hell in the roads. It's like, no, I gotta shove my hand up on a puppet hole.
The puppet hole. It
Fire
takes
hazard.
care of us as much as we take care of it.
I've thought about getting a puppet, but I think if I was going to do anything, I would just go grab my daughter's. Oh shit! What does she have? An octopus, a reversible octopus.
Oh yeah, okay.
I did that once, but if I was to do that, I'd have to get voice mod and do a different voice for it.
Well, the thing is, you need to just come on the show and be the VTuber. Which brings up an interesting question. Like, we all know what happens to the fleshies on the Cotton Council, but what about VTubers?
Well, I did. I was there a few weeks ago, and I was in the VTuber form.
Well, now we got, and I think that opens up a world of people to bring on, because it's like, in a way, it is kind of a puppet to bring on. And yes, Saturday there was a cat that showed up very last minute.
Yeah, there was.
What? I unfortunately had to leave. Who showed up?
That of course was Iron Catster.
Iron Catster. Well, go watch the Behemoth one and see if you can incorporate any of that into it. Maybe not. Don't take my suggestion, because that could turn out very bad.
Well, it's either he does it or Snacks figures out how to do something.
Yeah.
But with that, I think we'll go ahead and start wrapping up. What about you guys? Kind of looking back on 2024, what were some of your favorite moments as we sort of start to wrap things up?
Well, watching the anime, hanging out with the fam, participating in as many other things as I can. I didn't get as much gaming in as I wanted, but it was all right. And of course, a change in direction for this wonderful country of ours. Hopefully we don't fall into the pits of hell, and hopefully we rise like the phoenix from the ashes, because Lord knows we were there. So positivity, hoping things do turn out better in 2025, and yeah, so we'll see how it goes, but we're starting off on a good note, starting to do videos again, or trying to be more consistent with that, and that is one of my goals for the year, is to be more consistent with some of these videos and with the streaming, because I need to be. If I want to have it grow, I got to be consistent.
And that's always the challenge. You gotta have that consistency going. And I say this as someone who needs to do that more often myself. But I will say real quick, of all the things I'm looking forward to in 2025, it's hanging out with Squeaka more and showing her some more of these movies that we've come to enjoy.
Woohoo!
Like I certainly want to get your take on, for example, the Gamer's Darkness Rising, a little movie that we get my favorite little clip from, and I'm gonna play it one more time.
Will help.
What the hell? What was that from?
That is a movie called The Gamer's Darkness Rising, and as he will remind you in the movie, bards suck.
Don't be like that guy. Don't be a bard.
I don't know. Maybe I could. I couldn't do Stanlin's hand, but maybe I could do Stanlin's flipper. Water flipper.
And just because I like to point this out, and I cannot recommend this movie enough. It's been uploaded on YouTube for like 12 years.
Oh my word. It's from 2008. Wow.
This is without a doubt the best Dungeons and Dragons movie that ever has been, because it is literally about guys sitting around playing D&D, and then we cut to their characters as we get their hijinks and as they are doing all the terrible jokes.
Oh man.
So I don't know. Maybe because I sort of want to watch it again. Maybe we'll work something out. We'll do a little discussion about it, because I think it's one that I definitely want to show off to more people and bring some people together around. So a little more tabletop stuff in the year, I think, and that's probably one of my, and also some more streaming here. I think the goal is going to be get me to 1,000 subs in 2025. I think it's certainly doable.
It is. It can be done. We can't, sir. It's too dangerous. Bullshit.
Screw the rules. I'll make it work.
Ludicrous speed now. Yes.
One mech in 2025. A mouse mech, a penguin mech,
And anime guy mech.
And when I say penguin, I don't mean dime a dollar. If you know, you know.
Punkwaddle, what about you? What was one of your favorite moments of 2024?
I enjoyed San Antonio a lot. The actual con was probably my least favorite about that weekend, but getting to hang out with people, and that's not to rub it in at all, but like, wish you could have made it, and hopefully we'll be able to do something like that in the near future, next year, the year after, that we will still be able to try and do some sort of meetup connection, because like you guys are my friends. Like streaming with you, Snacks, the Cotton Council, Brandon. I got to meet Brandon this year too, because he was passing through on his trek around Texas and Louisiana and whatever else, and just so happened the ley lines crossed, and unfortunately,
anime dude does whatever the anime dude do.
And unfortunately, it was one of those days I couldn't get too far away from work. Of course, when I got back, they're like, "You're back already?" I was like, I kind of didn't think I had the option to just cut out and come back whenever I wanted, because that's not what people do when they have jobs. Anyway, point being, I know Squeaka.
So I will say probably the thing I most look forward, the thing I was kind of most, that was the thing I was most excited for. It wasn't necessarily the convention, and I say this having sadly missed out on going. The thing I was kind of most looking forward to was just hanging out with all these internet friends I've made over the years. All of the people that, I spend countless hours with. I'll mail you guys gifts. Like Punkwaddle, I sent you a Christmas ornament, just like I sent one to Squeaka, Pops, and Loki.
Yeah, it's already on the tree, right?
Yeah, Brandon, next year you're going to be getting an ornament too.
What again?
Christmas ornament.
Ah, yes, Christmas ornament. Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to try and travel more, but I doubt I'll be able to afford it again, because that was fun driving, but man, it's rough on the body.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where it can be fun, but there's also a lot of annoyances. You got to make sure the car is up to date, is all tuned up. You got to make sure there's gonna be no problems. You got to make sure you have the money. You got to have the gas coverage. There's all the hours just sitting tensed up driving, or you could fly and still spend a few $100, and that comes with its own issues.
Yeah, and I can't fly, so
They said no weebs allowed.
Yeah. No, I don't have the stupid ass star card, and I don't have a passport, and I just don't like having things out of my control like that anymore.
So I for myself, I've never flown, but
Really?
I like the idea of being able to just stop off anywhere and just say let's go off the beaten path.
Yeah, that's one of our long-term goals, is being able to do that.
The urge to wander, I'd rather have that on me. But let's. I guess I've been trying to wrap up for like 20 minutes now. So I guess to kind of wrap up. You guys, your links are in the description. Vince, DJ, Ronnie, you guys have been dropped those links in the chat, and I appreciate you guys so much for that. Guys, here's to 2025. I don't know what we're doing tomorrow night for, less than 24 hours from now. But we'll be hanging out somewhere to celebrate New Year's Eve. And I hope, if nothing else, in this next year that we just get to hang out together and we get to just have some more laughs, because at the end of the day, life's going to be hard no matter what we do. There's going to be a lot of upsets that come along that we won't be able to necessarily control, but we'll be there for each other. And I think that's the most important thing we need to remember at the end of the day, is that we all came together over these mutual loves of this entertainment, of this pop culture, of this escapism. And I want to be able to continue to celebrate that and get that out there with you guys. So thank you so much for your time, guys. It means so much to me that you would come and hang out with me on this now 3-hour stream, but I want to do some more of this, and here's to more of that in 2025. So with that, I think we're going to be wrapping it up, and because I sure love that clip, we're going to go out on that one more time. So take care, guys.